Hello there, and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you found your way here today. Tonight, there is nothing you need to do, nowhere else you need to be. You can let your shoulders soften, let the day loosen its hold, and simply listen. The subject we'll drift through together is one of the quietest wonders there is, the gentle ways the mind guides and settles itself, and how it quietly steers the body without ever raising its voice. There is no test at the end of this, no need to remember a single word. If something drifts past, you let it drift. And before we begin, if you enjoy what I share here, please leave a like and hit subscribe. It's how others find their way to this little corner too. Settle in now, however you're most comfortable. Let your breath find its own slow rhythm unhurried, and let the sound of these words be a soft place to rest. Now let's begin. Just behind your forehead sits a region called the prefrontal cortex, and it is the quiet conductor of nearly everything you would call self-control. When you resist a second helping, hold your tongue in a tense moment, or gently pull your focus back to a task, this small area is doing the steering. It weighs what matters now against what will matter later, and it does so without any fanfare, without you ever feeling the machinery turn. Think of the last time you decided to stay calm, when you might have snapped that choice felt. As a simple act of will was this region holding the reins. It develops slowly, maturing well into a person's mid-20s, which is part of why patience and long planning tend to deepen with age. And it tires like a muscle. After a long day of decisions, its grip loosens, and small temptations feel harder to refuse. What is worth resting on tonight is this: the very part of you that manages all that effort is also the part that can choose right now to stop managing. It can decide that this moment asks nothing of it. So as you lie here, that quiet conductor is being allowed, perhaps for the first time all day, to simply set down its baton and rest. Here is something that sounds like a trick, but is not one. A pill made of nothing more than sugar, containing no medicine at all, can genuinely reduce a person's pain, and the relief is real, measurable in the body, not merely imagined. This is the placebo effect, and for a long time people assumed it meant the pain was never real to begin with. The truth turned out to be gentler and stranger. When someone believes they are receiving help, the brain responds to that belief by releasing its own soothing chemicals, dimming pain signals before they ever reach full awareness. The expectation itself becomes a kind of treatment. Careful studies have watched this unfold, seeing real changes in the brain regions that handle discomfort, all set in motion by hope rather than by any active ingredient. What makes this worth carrying with you into sleep is what it says about you. The capacity to soothe yourself is not borrowed from a bottle. It lives inside you, already waiting to be invited. Your own expectation of comfort can begin to shape how comfortable you actually feel. So notice, if you like, the quiet permission you have given yourself simply by being here, the gentle expectation that these next hours will be restful ones. That expectation is not empty. It is the same quiet mechanism at work, already smoothing the way toward the ease you are settling into now. Imagine a single beam of light moving across a darkened stage. That beam is a fair picture of attention, a narrow pool of brightness the mind casts wherever it chooses, leaving everything beyond its edge in soft shadow. Wherever that light falls becomes vivid and clear, and whatever it falls upon grows more detailed, the longer it lingers there. And what it does not touch does not vanish. It simply waits dim and patient at the room's quiet edges. You can feel this for yourself right now. Until this sentence, you likely were not aware of the feeling of your feet against the bed or the weight of your own hands, yet the moment the beam swings toward them, there they are, suddenly present. That is the spotlight moving. It moved because you moved it. And just as easily, it can move again, gliding from your feet to your breath, from your breath to the sound of these words, each place lighting up gently as the beam arrives. This is one of the softest powers you carry, not the power to silence the world, but the power to choose where the light rests. Tonight, that choosing can be effortless. You might let the beam grow wide and dim, no longer darting from thing to thing, but pooling out slow and warm across the whole quiet space around you, until there is nothing in particular to look at, and the light itself begins to soften toward sleep. Picture an operating room, bright and quiet, where a patient lies fully awake. There is no mask delivering gas, no needle numbing the skin in the usual way. Instead, a calm voice speaks slowly, guiding the person's attention inward further and further from the room into a place of deep and settled focus. The surgery proceeds. The patient feels pressure perhaps, but not the pain you would expect, and afterward recalls the whole thing as strangely peaceful. This is not a story from long ago. In modern hospitals, in careful and rare cases, hypnosis has been used in place of chemical anesthesia, or alongside far smaller doses of it, for procedures that would otherwise seem impossible to bear awake. What allows this is not magic, and not sleep. The word hypnosis is a little misleading, since the person is not unconscious at all. It is intense guided attention, in which the mind narrows so completely upon suggestion that it can turn down the volume on pain itself, the way you might quietly lower a radio in another room. The brain scans taken during such states show real shifts in how pain is processed, not merely reported. What this reveals is how much, say, the mind holds over sensations we usually think of as fixed and unarguable. You do not need an operating room to borrow a little of this. Simply by letting your attention settle and soften tonight, you are turning that same dial gently toward quiet, lowering the volume of the day until it is barely a murmur. Everything you see feels immediate and true, as though your eyes were clear windows opening straight onto the world. The reality is stranger and more comforting than that. What you experience as sight is not the world itself pouring in, but a model. Your brain builds a best guess assembled from fragments of light, memory, and expectation, and then presented to you seamlessly, as if it were simple fact. Your eyes take in far less than you assume. They send the brain a stream of hints, upside down, blurred at the edges, riddled with gaps, and the brain quietly does the rest, filling, correcting, predicting, until a whole steady world appears. The color you see, the depth, the sense that objects stay solid when you blink, much of that is authored inside your own head. Consider how a face in dim light still looks familiar, or how a room stays put, even as your eyes flick constantly across it. That steadiness is a gift your brain gives you, sparing you the raw and jumbled truth of the signals themselves. There is something restful in knowing this. The world you rest inside tonight is in part a world your own mind is gently composing for you. And a mind that can build a whole calm room around you can just as easily soften it, dimming the edges, quieting the detail, letting the vivid daytime picture blur kindly into the vague drifting images that come as you fall towards sleep. Your heart and your breath are quietly in conversation, always in a rhythm most people never notice. Here is the loveliest part of it. You can join that conversation whenever you choose. With each breath in, the heart speeds up a little. With each breath out, it slows. This is a natural, gentle sway. And it means that by lengthening your exhale, letting the out-breath run longer than the in-breath, you can coax your heart to settle, beat by beat, into a calmer pace. The pathway for this runs along a long nerve that connects the breath to the heart, carrying the message of slowness downward through the body. You are not imagining the effect. It is a real and physical bridge between a thing you can control and a thing you usually cannot. Try it softly, if you like. Draw a slow breath in, then let it leave you even more slowly, as though you were letting a held weight sink to the floor. Do that a few times, and you may feel your own pulse begin to loosen the pounding of a long day, easing into something quieter. This is one of the simplest forms of gentle self-guidance you own. No effort, no strain, only the choosing of a slower rhythm and letting the body follow. And it is already happening. As you lie here listening, your breathing has been growing slower on its own, and your heart, faithful and willing, is following it down toward rest. There is an old, quiet remedy for a churning feeling, and it costs nothing. You simply name it. When a wave of worry or frustration rises, the act of putting it into a plain word, times. This is anxiety. This is sadness. Times begins almost at once to loosen its hold. Researchers who have watched this in the brain saw something graceful happen. As a person labels an emotion, the alarm regions grow quieter, while the calm, deliberate regions near the forehead grow more active, as though language itself were laying a steadying hand on the storm. The feeling does not disappear. It softens. It moves from something that has you to something you are simply holding at a small and manageable distance. You may have felt this without naming the mechanism, how a knot in the chest eases a little the moment you tell a friend or even yourself exactly what is wrong. The unspoken feeling looms. The spoken one shrinks to its true size. What is gentle about this is how little it asks. You do not have to fix the feeling, argue with it, or push it away. You only have to notice it and give it a quiet name, the way you might name a passing cloud. So if any small worry drifts through you tonight, you needn't chase it off. You can simply say to yourself softly, times there is a thought, times, and watch how naming it lets it thin and pale and float on past. In each of your eyes there is a small patch that is completely blind, a place where the nerve leaves the eye and no light can be caught at all. You would expect a hole in the world, a dark gap floating always before you. And yet you have never seen it, not once in your whole life. Your brain quietly and without asking paints over that gap. It studies the colors and patterns surrounding the blind spot and simply fills the hole with more of the same, a seamless patch, so convincing that the missing piece is invisible to you. Where there is a wall, it paints wall. Where there is sky, it paints sky. You walk through a world with two small absences at its center, and your mind mends them so gracefully you never suspect a thing. There is a deep kind of comfort tucked inside this. Your brain is not a passive recorder of what is there. It is a gentle caretaker, quietly smoothing over the gaps so that your experience feels whole and untroubled. It has been doing this every waking second of your life, an act of quiet mercy you never had to request, and it will keep doing it now. As your eyes grow heavy and begin to close, tending the seams of your fading vision, softening the world's edges, filling the growing dark with something calm and continuous, until there is nothing left to see but rest. Deep within your brain there is a small pharmacy stocked with chemicals remarkably like the strongest painkillers medicine has ever made. These are your own natural opioids, and your brain releases them to dull pain in moments of need. Here is the part that turns the ordinary into the wondrous. Your belief can open that pharmacy. When someone genuinely expects relief from a pill, a caring word, a trusted hand, the brain can respond by releasing these very chemicals, easing real pain through nothing but expectation. Scientists confirmed this in an elegant way. They gave people a substance that blocks those natural painkillers, and when they did, the comfort brought on by belief simply vanished, proving the relief had been flowing from the body's own inner supply all along. The hope was not imaginary. It was pressing a real lever inside a real system. What this means for you is quietly remarkable. The trust you place in comfort is not a soft or foolish thing. It is a key that turns in a genuine lock. When you settle into a warm bed, expecting ease, when you let yourself believe that this stretch of night will be kind, you are gently reaching for that inner pharmacy yourself. So let the belief be simple and whole tonight. Trust the quiet. Trust the softness of where you are lying. That trust is not naive. It is your own body's oldest medicine, dispensed by nothing more than the calm expectation of rest. Whatever you do again and again, your brain slowly becomes. This is not a figure of speech, but a physical truth. Every skill you practice, every habit you repeat, carves real pathways into the living tissue of your mind, thickening the connections that get used and letting the unused ones quietly Fade. When a musician practices a passage, the region governing those fingers grows measurably richer. When someone learns a new route home, the map-making parts of the brain reshape themselves to hold it. The brain you carry tonight is not the one you were born with. It has been sculpted patiently by everything you have ever done with it. Scientists once believed this shaping stopped in childhood, that the adult brain was fixed and finished. They were wrong. It keeps reshaping itself across the whole of a life, responsive to the very last, always ready to learn one more thing. And this includes the gentle practices too. Each time you let yourself unwind, each night you guide your body toward calm. You are laying down a little more of that pathway, making rest a road. Your brain travels more easily the next time. Consider that the very act of relaxing tonight is a kind of practice, one you are quietly getting better at. You are not only resting now, you are teaching the deep tissue of your mind the shape of rest, tracing a route toward calm that will be a touch smoother, a touch more familiar, every single night you return to it. Think of a crowded party, many voices overlapping, music beneath them, glasses and laughter all blurring into one great wall of sound. And yet when a friend leans in to speak, you hear them. Their single voice lifts cleanly out of the noise, clear enough to follow, while all the rest sinks into a background hum. This everyday marvel has a name, and it points to something your brain does constantly. From a flood of competing sounds arriving at once, it selects the one that matters and gently turns down all the others, not by covering your ears, but by choosing deep in its listening machinery what to amplify and what to let fade. You do this without any effort 100 times a day, and here is the quiet proof of how deep it runs. If someone across that noisy room were to say your name, you would hear it. Your attention would swing toward it before you even knew why, the background briefly parting to let one meaningful sound through. Your mind is always listening beneath your listening, sifting the world for you. Tonight, you can turn that same gift the other way. Instead of tuning toward, you can let it tune away, softening every sound in the room until they all sink into one low, even hush. Let the small noises of the house, the faint sounds beyond the window, all recede together into the background, unimportant, unbothered by, while the quiet itself becomes the single thing your listening rests upon. We have spoken of how belief can heal, and now gently its shadow, not to trouble you, but because it reveals just how much power expectation holds. If hope can soothe, then dread too can shape the body. This is the nocebo effect. When a person expects something to hurt, or expects a harmless thing to make them ill, the body can obediently produce the very symptoms feared: real nausea, real pain, real fatigue, all conjured by anticipation alone. In careful studies, people warned of a side effect went on to suffer it, even when they had been given nothing but sugar. The worry itself did the work. This is not weakness or imagination. It is the same deep machinery that makes the placebo so powerful, simply turned toward harm instead of help. And knowing about it is quietly freeing, because it shows you which way you would rather point your own expectation. The stories you tell yourself about how a night will go, about whether your body will ache or ease, are not idle. They lean gently on the outcome, so there is wisdom in tending them kindly. You need not brace against the coming hours or rehearse everything that might go wrong. That bracing has a cost the body pays. Instead, you can let the expectation you carry into sleep be a soft and generous one, that your body knows how to rest, that this night will hold you gently. Point the mind toward ease, and let the same power that could trouble you work quietly tonight in your favor. Pain is not the fixed, unarguable thing it seems. It has a volume dial, and one of the hands resting on that dial is your own attention. When your focus is drawn fully elsewhere, into a story, a task, a moment of absorption, a steady ache can quietly recede, dimming so far into the background that for stretches of time you simply do not feel it. Athletes have finished races on injuries they never noticed until the finish line. A child absorbed in play forgets the scraped knee entirely until they look down and remember. The hurt did not heal in those moments. The attention simply moved, and where attention goes, the vividness of pain follows. This works because pain is not merely a signal arriving from the body. It is a signal the brain must attend to before it fully blooms into suffering, and attention is a limited light. When that light is spent elsewhere, less of it lands on the ache. You hold more sway here than the day usually lets you believe. Any small discomfort you carry to bed, a tired back, a dull tension in the shoulders, can be gently loosened from your awareness by letting your attention drift softly away from it, toward your breath, toward these words, toward the warmth of the covers. You do not have to fight the feeling or fix it. You need only let the light that has been shining on it grow dim and let it turn slowly towards something kinder, until the ache slips quietly to the edge of the room and stays there. Your mind is not a passive thing waiting to be surprised by the world. It is a tireless forecaster, always one small step ahead, guessing what will happen next and quietly bracing for it before it arrives. Every moment, your brain is generating a prediction, the next word in a sentence, the next weight of a stair beneath your foot, the next sound in a familiar song, and comparing that guess against what actually comes. When the two match, the world feels smooth and unremarkable. When they part ways, you feel a small jolt of surprise, and the brain quietly updates its map. This is why a missed stare feels so startling, and why you can finish a friend's sentence before they do. You live in a sense, a fraction of a moment in the future, in a world your mind has already sketched. There is something restful hidden in this. Much of what feels like calm is simply the quiet of accurate prediction. A room where nothing contradicts what you expected, where the mind can stop bracing because it already knows the shape of things. And that is exactly where you are lying now. Nothing here needs forecasting. The room is known, the sounds are gentle, the next moment holds nothing to guard against. So your busy little forecaster can ease off. It can stop reaching ahead, stop running its quiet checks, and simply rest in a present that asks for no prediction at all, a still place where the next moment will be as soft and unsurprising as this one. Flavor feels like a plain fact of the tongue, but it is far more of a collaboration than that, and your expectation is one of the quiet cooks in the kitchen. Before a single bite reaches your mouth, your mind has already begun preparing the taste, drawing on the color of the food, its smell, its name, even the price you believe it cost. And that preparation genuinely changes what you experience. In careful tests, a white wine tinted red was described in the language of red wines by trained tasters who could not tell it had been dyed. A cheap dish, believed to be expensive, tastes richer to the very same tongue. The mouth reports, but the mind edits, and the flavor you finally savor is the two of them together. This happens because taste is not built at the tongue alone. It is assembled higher up, where sensation meets memory and belief, all folded into one seamless impression that feels like simple truth. You are in every meal, tasting your own expectations as much as the food. There is a gentle lesson tucked in here, for more than dinner. So much of your experience is shaped by what you lean toward believing it will be. The comfort of a warm drink, the softness of a familiar pillow, the ease of a night's rest. All of these are seasoned quietly by what you expect of them. So expect gentleness tonight. Let that expectation do its quiet work, sweetening the hours ahead before they have even fully arrived. Some of the body's rhythms seem entirely beyond reach. The pace of the heart, the temperature of the fingers, the fine tension humming in a muscle. We think of them as automatic, running on without us, indifferent to what we might wish. And yet, given a quiet window into them, people can learn to steer these very rhythms with surprising gentleness. This is the practice called biofeedback. A person is shown their own hidden signals, perhaps their heartbeat drawn as a moving line or their skin's warmth as a soft rising tone. And simply by watching, They begin almost without trying to nudge those signals toward calm. The heartbeat slows. The hands grow warmer. The muscle releases its grip. Nothing is forced. The body seems to find the way on its own once it can finally see where it is going. What makes this possible is a kind of conversation. The body is always speaking, and when the mind is given a way to listen, it can gently answer, guiding what once seemed ungovernable toward ease. You have a quieter version of this window already right now, without any device. You can feel the rise and fall of your own breath, the weight of your body sinking into the bed, the slow softening of your hands. That noticing is a feedback of its own, and as you rest your attention lightly on those inner signals tonight, you may find them all on their own, beginning to settle the breath, lengthening the warmth, spreading. The whole quiet instrument of the body tuning itself toward rest. Consider how much of seeing happens not in the eye but in the expectation behind it. Under the gentle guidance of suggestion, people with open, healthy eyes can genuinely fail to see something plainly before them, or see a color drain from an object that has not changed at all. In studies of deep suggestibility, a person told that a bright shape has lost its color will report it as gray, and their very brain, watched by scanners, shows the color processing regions quieting in answer, as though the suggestion had reached down and adjusted the seeing itself. This is not lying and not pretending. It is the mind editing the picture upstream before it ever reaches awareness. It works because vision, as we have touched on, is a construction, and a construction can be gently rewritten by a strong enough expectation. The eyes offer their raw report, but the mind decides what to make of it, and a well-placed suggestion can tip that decision one way or another. There is something quietly reassuring in this for the hour you are in. If a calm suggestion can dim a color, then the soft suggestions you offer yourself now carry real weight too. Telling yourself gently that your eyes are growing heavy, that the room is dimming, that everything is softening toward sleep, this is not empty talk. It is the same power turned kindly upon yourself. So let the suggestion be simple as you lie here. The light is low, the day is done, and your eyes, willing and tired, are ready to let the seeing go. A musician lies still in the dark, playing nothing, and yet, inside their mind, their fingers move across the keys, striking every note in perfect order. When morning comes, they play the passage better than the day before, improved by practice they never physically performed. This is not a trick of belief. It is one of the stranger, gentler truths of the mind. When you vividly imagine a movement, your brain lights up in nearly the same pattern as when you actually make it, firing along the very pathways the real motion would use. And because those pathways strengthen with use, imagined practice can genuinely sharpen a real skill. Athletes rehearse races in their minds and grow faster. People recovering from injury, unable to move a limb, can hold on to its strength by picturing the motion until they can perform it again. The line between doing and vividly imagining is far thinner than it feels. To your deeper brain, a clearly pictured act and a real one are close cousins, spoken in almost the same language. There is a soft invitation in this for you tonight. If the mind can rehearse effort and grow stronger, it can just as easily rehearse, ease, and grow calmer. You might picture yourself sinking slow and heavy into a deep, still lake of warmth, or drifting weightless through a quiet sky. Your brain will not treat that image as idle. It will begin softly to travel the very path you imagine, easing your real body a little further toward the rest you are picturing. The decision to relax is not a wish that hovers uselessly in the mind. It is a lever, and pulling it sets real machinery in motion throughout the body. The moment you choose to let go and begin to breathe more slowly, a great quiet network of nerves shifts its balance. One branch, the one that revs the body for effort and alarm, begins to ease its output, while its partner, the branch that governs rest and repair, gently takes the lead. Your heart rate softens, blood pressure drifts downward, The breath deepens, digestion stirs back to life, and the fine muscles all across the body loosen their long-held grip. None of this requires straining toward calm. The choice itself, followed by a few slow breaths, is enough to begin the tilt. Scientists can measure every part of this cascade, watching the numbers slide toward peace within minutes of a person simply deciding to stop bracing. What is worth resting in tonight is how little the whole thing asks of you. You do not have to force relaxation or chase it down. You only have to allow it to give your body the quiet permission to shift. And the ancient system built for exactly this will handle the rest. And it is already underway. Somewhere beneath your notice, the gentle rebalancing has begun. The alarm growing faint, the repairing branch rising, your whole body turning cell by cell and breath by breath toward the deep and unhurried calm it was always waiting for. Permission to find. Rest your attention for a moment on the sheer number of small things at work inside your head. Your brain holds somewhere near 86 billion neurons, the tiny living cells that carry every thought, every feeling, every quiet command you have ever given yourself. That number is almost too large to feel, so let it become human for a moment. If you tried to count those neurons one each second without stopping to eat or sleep, you would not finish for more than 2,500 years. An entire silent civilization of cells, older in number than all of recorded history, is folded gently into the space behind your eyes. And every ordinary thing you do, deciding to turn over, choosing a single word, letting your shoulders drop, draws on vast crowds of them firing together in patterns of breathtaking coordination. Yet you feel none of the crowd. You feel only the smooth, single experience of being yourself, while beneath it, billions of small workers hum in flawless cooperation. There is a deep comfort in being carried by something so vast and so faithful. You do not have to manage those billions, or even know they are there. They tend to you without instruction, keeping your heart timed and your breath flowing while you rest. So as you lie here, you can let that immense quiet crowd do what it has always done. It does not need your supervision tonight. It will keep its countless small fires burning softly, watching over you, while the one small times you times at the center of it all drifts gently off to sleep. Vast as those billions of neurons are, the true wonder is not their number, but how thickly they are woven together. Each single neuron does not stand alone. It reaches out to thousands of its neighbors, and they reach back until the brain becomes a web of almost unimaginable density. Add up all those connections, and you arrive at a figure near 100 trillion more links inside your quiet head than there are stars in our entire galaxy, many times over. To picture even 1 trillion, imagine a line of ordinary grains of sand. 1 trillion grains would stretch on for miles and miles a beach, with no end in sight. Now hold 100 of those beaches in mind, all folded softly into the space between your ears. Every memory you hold, every calm you have ever felt, lives not in the cells themselves, but in this shimmering pattern of connection between them, in which paths are strong, which are worn, smooth, which light up together. You are, in the truest sense, a pattern woven across that endless web. What is gentle to rest on is this. That web is not a rigid thing, but a living one, always softening and resettling, especially in sleep when it quietly tends and tidies its countless threads. Tonight you need do nothing to help it. As you drift off, that vast and patient network will go on humming beneath you, smoothing its own connections, holding the whole of you together, with a care so constant and so complete that you have never once had to think about it. Something is moving through you at this very moment quicker than you would ever guess. When your brain sends a command down to your body or your skin sends a message back up, that signal does not amble along, it races. The fastest of your nerves carry their pulses at well over 200 miles an hour, swifter than a race car, flat out on a track. Swifter than most of what humans have ever built to move on the ground. This is why the instant you decide to shift your hand, it simply moves with no delay you could ever notice. The message has already flashed the length of your arm before the thought has finished forming. Across the whole of your body, these signals are streaking constantly up from the soles of your feet, down from the crown of your head, a ceaseless, high-speed traffic that never once tangles or stalls. And yet for all that velocity, you feel only smoothness, the quiet, seamless sense of a body that answers you at once. There is a lovely stillness inside all that speed. The very swiftness of these signals is what lets everything feel so effortless, so immediate, so calm. You never have to wait for your own body. So as you lie here, know that even your stillness is alive, with gentle motion, countless small messages flowing softly through you, keeping the heart timed, and the breath flowing, racing faithfully along their paths, so that you, at the center of it all, can rest in perfect ease. Given all we have said of billions and trillions, you might expect the brain to be a roaring engine hungry for enormous power. The truth is far gentler and far more surprising. Your entire thinking brain, every thought, every dream, every act of quiet control runs on roughly 20 watts of energy. That is less than a dim household bulb, less than the small light you might leave glowing in a hallway overnight. On that faint and steady trickle of power, your mind composes whole worlds. It holds your memories, steers your choices, keeps your heart beating and your lungs filling, and paints for you the entire seamless picture of reality, all on less electricity than it takes to light a single soft lamp. No machine humans have ever built comes close to such thrift. The greatest computers strain and heat and roar to do far less drinking power by the 1,000-fold. Your brain simply hums along, quiet and cool and endlessly efficient. There is something deeply restful in this small, warm fact. The most intricate thing in the known universe asks so little to keep running. It does not need you to feed it effort or urgency. It is content on the faintest whisper of energy, glowing softly through the night, like that dim and patient hallway light, so you can let go of any sense that resting requires something of you. Your mind will keep its gentle light burning on almost nothing at all, steady and unhurried all through the quiet hours, needing nothing from you now but the permission to shine low. Here is a question worth sitting with softly. How much can you truly hold in mind at any single moment? It feels some days as though we juggle 100 things at once, but the honest answer is far smaller and far kinder. Your conscious attention, the bright, aware part of your mind, can grasp only about 4 separate things at a time before the edges begin to blur and slip. Try to hold a longer string of numbers or a fuller list of tasks and you will feel them start to crowd and tumble, the newest ones, pushing the oldest quietly out the door. This is not a flaw, it is a mercy. That small, 4-cornered stage is what lets your mind stay clear rather than drowning in the endless flood the world offers. Everything else is set gently down, held in waiting rooms elsewhere in the brain, so that the lit stage of awareness never overflows. What this means for your rest is quietly freeing. All those worries and tasks that seem to swarm at bedtime, they cannot truly all be present at once. Your mind can only ever hold a few in its small, warm hands, so you need not try to carry everything into the night. You can let the stage empty, one thing at a time, until only a single gentle thing remains upon it. The slow sound of your breath, perhaps, or the soft weight of your body sinking down. And when even that last thing is allowed to drift off the edge of the stage, there is only the quiet and sleep. In this very second, while you lie here in apparent stillness, your senses are pouring an almost unthinkable torrent of information into your brain. Your eyes alone send something near 10 million signals every second. Your skin, spread across the whole of you, reports ceaselessly on warmth and pressure and the faint touch of the sheets. Your ears gather every sound. Your nose, every trace of scent. Your body, its own inner tides of balance and position, all of it flooding inward together. Millions upon millions of tiny messages arriving each and every moment you are alive. If you could feel that raw flood as it truly is, it would be overwhelming beyond bearing a deafening roar of pure sensation with no shape or meaning. And yet you feel none of that chaos. You feel only a calm and simple world, a quiet room, a soft bed, the gentle sound of a voice. That serenity is not the absence of the flood. It is the brain's masterwork of taming it. Somewhere beneath your awareness, that vast river of signals is being sorted, filtered, and shaped into the smooth, restful experience you are having right now. You are being spared the storm. What reaches your quiet awareness is only the gentlest distillation of it all, chosen and softened on your behalf. So there is no need to feel that rest must be earned from a busy world. Even in this ordinary moment, your mind is doing extraordinary work to keep you calm, turning an ocean of raw signal into the still, small, peaceful evening you are resting inside. Following that vast flood pouring in each second, the natural question is, what becomes of it all? And the answer reveals one of the mind's quietest kindnesses. Of the millions of signals arriving, your brain lets almost every one of them go. Only the smallest fraction is ever allowed to rise into awareness. The overwhelming rest is filtered out, set aside, gently discarded before you ever know it was there. This is not carelessness. It is wisdom. A mind that clung to everything would be paralyzed, buried alive under detail. So the brain has become a masterful editor forever, asking what matters now and quietly releasing all the rest. The hum of the room, the feel of your clothing, the countless background trivia that would only clutter a clear mind. You keep them meaningful, and you let the meaningless dissolve all without lifting a finger. There is a soft lesson folded into this for the hour you are in. Letting go is not something foreign to your mind. It is what your mind does endlessly, better than almost anything else. Every waking second, it practices the art of release. So when a stray thought drifts up tonight and asks to be held, you can treat it the way your brain treats those millions of signals, not by fighting it, but simply by letting it go unheld, allowing it to thin and fade like all the rest. You already know how to do this. You have been doing it quietly your whole life. Tonight, you need only let that same gentle releasing carry you the last small distance into sleep. Think of the brain not as a finished sculpture, but as a river, forever reshaping its own banks. Across the span of a single life, it rewires itself again and again, laying down new paths, dissolving old ones, quietly redrawing its own vast map to match whatever you are living through. The child learning to walk, the young person learning a language, the older person learning at last to slow down and rest. Each is physically reshaping the tissue of the mind, and none of it ever truly stops. Every day you live edits you a little. A conversation, a new habit, a moment of calm, all of them leave the faintest trace, strengthening some connections, loosening others, so that the brain you fall asleep with tonight is not quite the one you woke with this morning. This is a quiet mercy, because it means nothing in the mind is ever wholly fixed. Whatever grooves the day wore into you, whatever tension or worry it traced, the brain is always able to soften and redraw. And it does its deepest reshaping in the very hours you are drifting toward now. During sleep, the mind returns to its own banks and tends them, clearing away the day's debris, settling what was learned, gently loosening what was strained. So tonight is not merely a pause in that lifelong reshaping. It is its most tender chapter. As you sink towards sleep, you hand your mind the quiet freedom to mend itself, to smooth what the day roughened, and to lay you down come morning, a little more rested than before. Consider the smallest choice you will make tonight, to turn onto your side perhaps, or to let your eyes finally close. It feels like nothing, a single, effortless flick of will. Yet beneath that quiet ease, something immense is unfolding. Even the most ordinary decision draws millions of neurons into sudden concert firing together, in patterns of extraordinary complexity, weighing options, tipping the balance, sending the command outward, all in the space of a heartbeat, all without a whisper reaching your awareness. Picture an entire orchestra, vast beyond counting, every player poised and ready. A choice arrives, and in an instant they play as one, a single, flawless chord, rising from countless separate instruments and then falling silent again just as smoothly. That is what happens inside you each time you decide even the smallest thing. And you never hear the orchestra. You feel only the music, the simple, seamless sense that you chose and it was done. There is a great and gentle reassurance in this. You are not doing all that labor. It is being done for you, beneath you, by a system so practiced and so willing that the effort never touches you at all. So you can trust the one small choice that matters now, the choice to let go, to stop steering, to rest. Make it softly, and the vast unseen orchestra will do the rest, translating that single quiet wish into 1,000 small settlings all through your body. You need only give the gentle signal. Everything beneath you already knows in perfect concert exactly how to carry you down into sleep. Of everything your brain is doing at this very moment, how much of it do you actually notice? The honest answer is humbling and soothing at once, only the faintest sliver. The great bulk of your brain's work happens entirely without you regulating your heartbeat, timing your breath, steadying your balance, filtering the world, tending 1,000 quiet tasks you never feel and never chose. What rises into conscious awareness, the part that feels like times you, times thinking and deciding, is only a small bright tip atop a vast and silent mountain of activity carrying on below. And that silent majority is not lesser for being unseen. It is the deep, reliable foundation on which your whole calm life rests, the faithful, tireless work that asks nothing of your attention and would only be disturbed by it. You could not consciously beat your own heart if you tried. It is far too wise to be left to the small lit tip of you. There is such peace to be found in this. So much of you is already handled, already cared for, running smoothly, in a place you never have to visit. You are not the manager of your own body. You are its guest, gently carried by systems far older and surer than your thinking mind. So the small conscious times can finally rest tonight, knowing it was never the one holding everything up. Let that bright little tip of awareness dim and soften now. The vast, quiet mountain beneath it will keep you breathing, keep you beating, keep you whole and safe all through the night, without your needing to watch over any of it at all. We tend to imagine self-control as a great effort of will, teeth clenched, jaws set, holding ourselves in check by sheer force. But the truth is softer and far less tiring than that. Most of the control that shapes your day happens without any effort at all, running quietly beneath awareness, deciding 1,000 small things before your conscious mind is even consulted. Your hand steadies a cup without your asking. Your eyes drop away from something too bright. Your body slows at the top of a stair, adjusts its balance on uneven ground, holds 100 small restraints you never once command. This automatic guidance is doing the vast bulk of the work, and it does it so smoothly that you mistake it for nothing happening at all. The conscious, effortful kind of self-control, the gritted, willful kind, is only the small, visible peak of it, called upon rarely for the hardest moments. The rest is handled quietly, tirelessly, by a deeper part of you that never asks for credit or rest. There is a real comfort here for anyone who feels worn down by the day's demands. So much of your steadiness was never costing you the strain you thought it was. It was flowing on its own, freely given by a part of you that governs gently and without complaint. So tonight, you can let go of the effortful kind entirely. There is nothing left that needs your willpower, nothing that must be held in check. You can hand it all back to that quiet, automatic caretaker, the one that has been steering you softly all along, and simply let yourself be carried unguarded and at ease towards sleep. There is a small, deep structure in your brain whose gift is turning effort into ease. Its work is the making of habits, and through it, actions that once demanded your full attention slowly sink below awareness until you can perform them with no thought at all. Remember learning to tie a shoe, or to drive, or to write your own name, how each demanded such careful, halting focus. Now they simply happen smooth and automatic, your hands moving through the steps while your mind wanders freely elsewhere. This is the brain's quiet economy at work. It cannot afford to spend precious attention on the same task forever, so it packages repeated actions into tidy bundles, hands them to this deeper structure, and frees your conscious mind for whatever is new. In this way, thousands of your daily actions unfold each day without ever troubling you. The walking, the reaching, the small familiar motions of an ordinary life, all running themselves. And this same gift is quietly available to your rest. When a soothing routine is repeated night after night, it too becomes a habit, a smooth and automatic path the brain learns to follow towards sleep. The dimming of the lights, the settling into the same soft place, the slow, familiar breath. These can become a bundle your brain knows by heart, a gentle groove that carries you downward with less and less effort each time. So the very act of returning here night after night is teaching your mind the shape of letting go until one evening rest arrives on its own, unbidden and easy, simply because the well-worn path has led you there. You might think that when your mind falls quiet, the brain falls quiet too. It does not. In those idle moments, when you are staring softly out a window or lying still with no task at hand, a particular web of regions quietly comes alive, humming with activity, precisely when you feel you are doing nothing at all. This is the default mode network, and it is the brain's own resting rhythm, the state it drifts into whenever the outside world stops demanding attention. In these moments, it wanders and stitches, revisiting memories, imagining the days ahead, softly making sense of who you are and how your story hangs together. Far from being empty, this quiet time is when much of your inner life is gently woven. It is the mind turning inward to tend its own garden, while no one is asking anything of it. There is something reassuring in knowing that your rest is not a blankness, but a kind of quiet tending. Even now, as you lie here with the day's tasks set aside, this gentle network is likely stirring, softly gathering the loose threads of your day and folding them into the larger fabric of your life. You do not have to guide it or help it along. It knows its own slow work. So you can let your mind wander now, without any worry that wandering is idleness. It is doing exactly what it was made to do in moments like this, turning quietly inward, tending its garden in the low light, easing you gently from the busy outer world toward the still inner one where sleep begins. If you were to catch yourself at random moments all through a day and ask honestly where your mind had drifted, you would find something striking. Nearly half the time, it would not be on the task before you at all. It would have wandered off into memory, into daydream, into some small imagined conversation or half-formed plan, quietly slipping away from the present without your ever deciding it should. This wandering fills close to half of all your waking hours, an astonishing share of a life spent softly elsewhere. And though we sometimes scold ourselves for it, this drifting is not a failure of focus. It is one of the mind's natural tides, as constant and ordinary as breathing. The mind was never built to hold perfectly still on one thing. It roams, it loosens, it follows quiet threads wherever they lead, and in that roaming it often does its gentlest creative work, connecting distant ideas, easing old feelings, resting from the strain of aim. You have been wandering, most likely even within these very words, drifting off for a sentence or two, then floating back. And that is entirely as it should be. There is no need to hold your attention rigidly here tonight. If it slips away towards some soft and distant thought, let it slip. That drifting is the mind doing exactly what it loves. In fact, that gentle loosening of focus, that willingness to wander untethered, is itself the doorway to sleep. So let your mind roam free now, unpinned from any single thing, and follow it wherever it softly wishes to go, out past the edges of thought and down into rest. Deep within you, a quiet music is always playing. Your brain hums with faint electrical rhythms, waves of activity rising and falling in gentle, ceaseless patterns, and these rhythms shift with your every state of being. When you are alert and busy, the waves run quick and small and tight. When you soften and relax, they begin to slow, stretching longer and deeper, their tempo easing like a piece of music winding gradually down. And when you finally drift towards sleep, they slow further still, spreading into the long, slow rolling swells that belong to the deepest rest of all. These rhythms are not something you must create. They arise on their own, the brain's own natural pulse-changing tempo as your mind changes state. There is a lovely intimacy in this. The very speed of these inner waves is a kind of mirror of how you feel quick when the day is sharp, slow, and long when peace settles in. And they are yours to gently influence. As you calm your breath and soften your body tonight, you are quietly inviting those waves to slow, coaxing them out of their busy daytime flutter and into the longer, gentler swells of evening. You need not force it. You need only settle and let the tempo find its own way down. Somewhere within you, that shift may already be underway, the quick waves lengthening the tight rhythms, loosening the whole inner music, slowing its pace toward the deep and rolling calm of sleep. Simply by resting here, listening, you are letting your own hidden rhythms drift gently toward their slowest and most peaceful measure. The calm you can reach tonight was not invented by you nor learned in your lifetime alone. It is an inheritance shaped over millions of years and handed quietly down to you. The systems inside you that govern, rest, and alarm, that slow the heart and steady the breath, that decide when to brace and when to soften, all of these were sculpted across an unimaginable stretch of time, refined generation upon generation in creatures long before you, and passed forward without a single word. When you take a slow breath and feel your body ease, you are using machinery far older than language, older than fire, older than the human face itself. Every ancestor who ever calmed after danger, who ever rested safely through a night, who ever soothed a racing heart back to stillness, added their small refinement to the gift you now hold. You did not have to build any of it. It came to you complete, tested across 1,000 lifetimes, ready the moment you were born. There is a deep belonging in this. The peace you are settling into is not a private trick, but an ancient birthright, one you share with countless living things and countless ones before you, all soothed by the same old and faithful systems. So the ease you feel tonight connects you to something vast and long. When your breath slows and your body loosens towards sleep, you are doing exactly what your kind has done safely in the dark, for longer than memory can reach, trusting the oldest wisdom in you to carry you gently through the night, just as it always has. The mind's power to soothe itself through belief is not the quirk of one people or one place. Wherever researchers have looked across the whole spread of human cultures, the placebo response appears the same quiet capacity for expectation to ease real suffering showing up in every corner of the human family. The particular rituals differ from place to place. What one culture trusts to heal, another may not. But the underlying gift is everywhere the same. Give a person genuine hope of relief in whatever form they trust, and the body so often answers, releasing its own comfort in reply. This universality tells us something tender about our shared nature. The capacity to be soothed by belief, by care, by expectation, is not learned from any single tradition. It is woven into what it means to be human at all. Somewhere on the far side of the world tonight, a person is easing toward rest through the very same inner mechanism that is quietly easing you. There is a soft companionship in that thought. The comfort you can offer yourself now is the common inheritance of your entire kind, a shared thread running through every human heart that has ever hoped to feel better, and in hoping felt so. You are not alone in this small nightly act of self-comfort. Across every language and every land, people are doing exactly what you are doing now, trusting in ease, expecting gentleness, and finding that the expectation itself begins to make it so. So let yourself belong fully to that vast and quiet company tonight, held by the same ancient human gift that holds them all, and let it carry you gently into sleep. Try if you can to hold the sheer possibility of your own mind, with its billions of neurons, each able to be quiet or active, joining and parting in endless combination. The number of different states your brain could take is so vast, it escapes all ordinary comparison. It is said to exceed the number of atoms in the entire visible universe, every star, every world, every grain of everything we can see, outnumbered by the possible configurations of the single mind resting on your pillow now. There is no true way to picture such a number. It simply overflows the imagination and leaves a kind of quiet awe behind. And yet all that boundless possibility is tonight gently narrowing toward one thing. Of the countless states your mind could take, it is drifting slowly toward the small and simple set that means rest, the quiet configurations of a brain, letting go, growing, still sinking toward sleep. All that vastness folding softly down into one peaceful shape. There is something wonderful in that. You carry within you a universe of possibility, wider than the sky. And yet, what it is reaching toward now is nothing grand at all, only calm, only ease, only the gentle stillness of a good night's rest. You need not touch the vastness or make sense of it. You need only let your mind continue its quiet narrowing, releasing all the countless states it will not take tonight, until only the softest ones remain, and then only sleep, the simplest and most peaceful state of all, waiting at the still center of that immeasurable mind. When you finally drift off tonight, your brain will not fall silent. It will begin quietly to work, replaying the day you have lived, running back through its moments at a speed far quicker than they first unfolded. In the deep hours, the mind revisits where you have been and what you have touched, threading the day's fresh experiences back through its older memories, deciding gently what to keep and what to let fade. A whole afternoon can be reviewed in mere moments, compressed and sorted while you rest unaware. This is how the loose, scattered events of a day become the settled, ordered memories of a life. Sleep is not merely the absence of waking. It is a tender labor of its own. The mind quietly filing away all that you gathered, strengthening what matters, softening what stung, weaving the day into the long fabric of who you are. You will not feel any of this happening. You will only wake come morning to find the day somehow settled its edges, smoothed its lessons, quietly absorbed. There is such kindness in this arrangement. You do not have to make sense of your day before you sleep, or tidy it or resolve it. You can simply lay it down, unfinished and imperfect as it is, and trust your resting mind to do the sorting for you faithfully in the dark. So set the day down now, all of it, just as it was. Let it go from your tired hands. Somewhere in the hours ahead, your own quiet mind will gather it up, replay it gently, and tuck each piece where it belongs, while you rest untroubled through it all. Somewhere in a quiet room there is a clock ticking, and for the first few moments you hear it plainly, tick, 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 steady and clear. But wait a while, and the sound simply vanishes from your awareness, even as the clock ticks on exactly as before. You have not gone deaf to it. Your brain has decided it no longer matters. This is a gentle process the mind performs constantly. When a sound is steady, unchanging, and carries no new meaning, the brain quietly turns down its volume in your awareness, freeing your attention for whatever might actually need it. The signal still arrives. It is simply no longer forwarded to the part of you that notices. Your mind is forever asking softly times, is this new, is this important times? And when the answer is no, It lets the sound sink kindly into the background. You have felt this 1,000 times, without naming it, the hum of a refrigerator. You stop hearing the traffic outside a window that fades as an evening wears on. Your brain is tending you, sparing you the tyranny of every constant sound. And tonight this quiet gift is working for you. The small, steady noises around you, the faint hum of the house, the distant sounds beyond your walls, your mind is already learning to release them, letting each one fade into a soft and unbothering hush. You need not try to ignore them. The ignoring happens on its own. So let the ticking of the world grow quiet in you, each unchanging sound dropping gently away, until the room around you settles into the soft and even silence that welcomes sleep. Here is something worth knowing gently, not to alarm you, but to free you. When you turn a worry over and over in the mind, replaying it, examining it, running it again and again, you are not solving it, you are wearing its path a little deeper. Remember how repeated practice carves real grooves into the brain. That same law holds for worry. Each time a fretful thought is rehearsed, the pathway it travels grows a touch more worn, a touch easier for the next worried thought to slip into and follow. The mind, ever faithful, simply strengthens whatever it repeats, never asking whether the thing is worth strengthening. This is why a worry circled at night can seem to gather weight the longer you hold it, not because the trouble has grown, but because you have been quietly paving its road. The good news folded inside this is just as real. A path unused begins slowly to fade. When you stop rehearsing a worry, when you let it pass without running it once more, its groove softens, its pull weakens, and the mind turns its care elsewhere. So tonight, you hold a quiet choice. You do not have to walk any worried path that rises up. You can simply decline to travel it, noticing the thought and then letting it lie there, unrehearsed, unwalked, unwatered. It will not deepen if you do not trace it. So let the night's small worries stay where they are, untouched and unrepeated, and turn your gentle attention instead toward the soft and easy path that leads only downward, toward stillness, toward rest. Of all the small keys to your own calm, this may be the simplest and the most quietly powerful. Let your out-breath be longer than your in-breath. That is all. When you breathe in, a part of your nervous system gives a tiny lift toward alertness. When you breathe out, its calming partner gently answers, easing the heart and softening the body. So when you deliberately stretch the exhale, letting it flow out slow and long, you are tipping that inner balance again and again toward peace. It is a quiet lever anyone can pull, needing nothing but your own willing breath. You might try it now without any strain. Breathe in gently, and then let the breath leave you slowly, unhurried, as though it were a long, soft sigh, with no end it must reach. And then simply repeat, letting each out-breath run a little longer than the one that filled you. With every extended exhale, you send another small message of safety down through the body, and the body, always listening, answers by settling further. There is no effort required in this, no counting you must cling to, no perfection to reach. It is the gentlest kind of self-guidance, one your body already understands in its bones, one it has been quietly waiting to do. So let your breathing find that soft and lengthening rhythm now, the out-breath always the longer of the two, and feel how each slow release loosens something in you. The shoulders, the jaw, the deep, tired places carrying you, one gentle exhale at a time, further down toward the stillness where sleep is waiting. There is an old and hidden reflex sleeping in your body, a quiet inheritance from deep in the past, and it can be summoned with something as simple as cool water on the face. When cool water touches the skin around your eyes and nose, especially your body, responds within seconds by slowing the heart, drawing your system toward calm and conservation. This is a reflex shared with the diving creatures of the sea, a built-in response that once helped living things settle their bodies beneath cold water, and it lingers still in you, ready whenever it is called. You need not understand it for it to work. The body simply recognizes the cool touch and answers ancient and automatic, easing the pulse almost at once. On a night when the mind feels too fast to sleep, this small reflex is a gentle friend to know. A splash of cool water or a cool cloth laid softly against the face can coax a racing heart back down toward quiet, faster than reason ever could. It bypasses thought entirely, speaking straight to the body in a language older than words. But even here, in your bed unmoving, you can borrow a little of its spirit, imagining that coolness, that soft touch of calm settling over your face, letting the very thought of it ease you. Your body is always listening for the signs of safety, always ready to slow when it is gently told it may. So whether by cool water or by the simple settling of your breath, let that old, quiet reflex have its way tonight. And feel your heart obeying, slowing, softening, sinking with you towards sleep. Think back gently on how your morning began. The waking, the first slow movements, the small familiar sequence of things you did before the day fully arrived. How much of it did you truly decide, and how much simply unfolded on its own? For most people, the answer is that the morning runs largely on habit, a smooth chain of automatic actions the mind performs while barely awake, sparing you the effort of choosing each small step anew. Your feet find the floor, your hands reach for the familiar things, your body moves through its practiced opening to the day, all guided by that deep and patient part of you that has learned the sequence by heart. This is a quiet kindness the mind pays you. If every small morning action demanded a fresh decision, you would be exhausted before the day had properly begun. Instead, habit carries you gently through, asking almost nothing of your tired early mind, leaving your fuller attention free to wake at its own pace. You are being helped softly more than you know. And the same faithful mechanism can carry you kindly at the other end of the day. Just as your mornings run on habit, your evenings can too. The dimming, the settling, the slow familiar steps toward bed, becoming their own smooth automatic chain one. Your mind learns to follow with less and less effort. So the gentle routine that brought you here tonight is not a small thing. It is you teaching your own mind the well-worn shape of rest. And the more faithfully you return to it, the more easily it will carry you, night after night, down into sleep, without your having to think at all. The very same quickened heart, the same fast breath, the same rush of energy through the body can mean two entirely different things, depending only on the story you tell about it. When you name that racing feeling as threat, as fear, the body braces and tightens, blood vessels narrow, and the whole system readies for defense. But when you name that same racing feeling as excitement, as readiness, the body responds quite differently. The vessels stay open, the energy flows more freely, and what could have been distress becomes something closer to eager aliveness. The physical sensation begins nearly the same. The meaning you give it steers where it goes. This is a quiet and genuine power, and studies have watched it change how bodies weather stress. The pounding heart before a hard moment need not be read as dread, told a kinder story. Times, this is my body helping me. This is energy. This is readiness times. It can carry you through with far less harm. You are, in a real sense, the author of what your own arousal means. There is comfort in knowing this for all the small stresses that trail us into evening. A worry that quickens the pulse at bedtime can be met not with the story of threat, but with something softer times. This is only my body awake and alive, and it is safe now, and it may rest. You cannot always choose the first flush of feeling, but you can choose gently the story you lay over it. So lay a kind one over yourself tonight, and let your body, hearing it, unclench and open, and ease its way toward calm. Of all your senses, smell holds a strange and tender power over memory. A single familiar scent, bread baking, rain on warm earth, a perfume once worn by someone you loved, can summon a whole memory in an instant, complete with its feelings arriving all at once before you have even named what you smelled. This happens because of how your brain is built. The pathways that carry scent run unusually close to the deep regions that hold memory and emotion, so a smell can reach straight into your past without passing through the slower, more deliberate parts of the mind. Where other memories are searched for, scent memories simply appear sudden and whole and steeped in feeling. You have surely felt this, how one unexpected smell can carry you, in a heartbeat, back to a childhood kitchen, a summer long gone, a person no longer near. The memory does not build slowly. It floods in, vivid and immediate, as though the years had folded and set you down again in that other place. It is one of the most emotionally direct experiences a mind can have, and this quiet power can be turned toward your rest. A gentle scent kept near your bed, something soft and familiar, chosen for the calm it brings, can become over time a quiet signal to your mind that rest is near, summoning ease the way another scent summons the past. Even now you might notice the faint familiar smells of your own room, your own pillow, and let them wrap around you like something known and safe. A quiet fragrance of belonging that tells your deepest mind you are home, and it is time at last to rest. Your senses do not work in separate rooms. They lean on one another constantly, and sometimes one gently overrules another. Here is a strange and lovely proof of it. What your eyes see can quietly change what your ears believe they hear. In a well-known demonstration, when people watch a face forming one sound while a different sound is played, they hear neither the true sound nor the seen one, but a third sound blended from both the eyes, reshaping the ear's report without anyone's awareness. Your brain, forever seeking one coherent world, weaves sight and sound together into a single seamless impression. And when they disagree, it quietly negotiates a peace, often letting the eyes have their say. This is why watching a speaker's lips helps you understand them in a noisy room, and why a voice can seem to come from a puppet's moving mouth. You are not hearing with your ears alone. You are hearing with your whole attentive brain, sight and sound, folded together into one. There is something quietly restful in knowing how deeply your senses cooperate to build your calm and steady world. They are always working as one, smoothing over disagreement, sparing you confusion, handing you a single unified experience that simply feels like reality. Tonight, as your eyes begin to close, that cooperation shifts gently too. With sight withdrawing into the dark, the ceaseless negotiation quiets. There are no more images for sound to argue with, no more world to piece together. And into that softening, the sounds around you loosen their grip as well, until sight and sound alike fade back, and there is only the quiet and you drifting down toward sleep. The mind is drawn by old habit toward what is wrong. It scans for problems, for threats, for the unfinished and the troubling, because long ago that vigilance kept our ancestors alive. But this same habit means that left to itself, the mind can overlook the great deal that is quietly right. Here is the gentle remedy when you deliberately name a few things you are grateful for. You nudge that restless scanner in a kinder direction, guiding its attention toward what is good rather than what is lacking. And attention, as you know by now, shapes what fills your awareness. Turn it toward the warm and the sufficient, and more of the warm and sufficient rises into view. This is not a trick of pretending. It is simply choosing where the mind's light falls. The troubles do not vanish, but they lose their monopoly on your attention, sharing the room at last with all that is well. Over time, gently practiced, this turning can even soften the grooves the mind runs in, making gratitude a path a little easier to find. There is a soft place for this, in the quiet, before sleep. You might let your mind rest for a moment, on a few small good things from the day, now closing a kindness, received a warmth, felt a simple comfort, even just the softness of the bed beneath you now. You need not search hard or find anything grand. Let them be small and true. And as you name them quietly to yourself, feel how the mind settles a little, its restless scanning easing, its attention turning toward the gentle and the good, a soft and grateful place from which to drift down into rest. Something in us reaches toward a rhythm when we hear one. Play a slow and steady piece of music, and your body begins without any conscious effort to drift toward its tempo. The heartbeat easing, the breath lengthening, drawn gently into step with the unhurried pace of the sound. This is a real and measurable pull. Researchers have watched resting heart rates settle toward the slow beat of calming music, the body quietly synchronizing itself with what it hears. It is as though a part of us cannot help but keep time, always leaning toward the rhythm in the room. This is why slow music soothes and quick music quickens, and why the right gentle piece can feel like a hand laid softly on a racing heart. The body is always listening, always looking for a tempo to fall into, and when the tempo offered is slow and kind, the body follows it downward toward calm. You are more musical in this deep bodily way than you may ever have realized, and you can offer yourself this gift on any restless night. A slow, soft, unhurried, quiet music, or even the slow measure of a gentle voice like this one, gives your body a peaceful rhythm to settle into a pace, to match as it winds itself down. Even the slow cadence of these words, unhurried and even, is a kind of tempo you can lean toward now. Let your breath fall into step with it, slow and long and easy, and feel your heart ever willing to keep time, gently slowing to match the quiet rhythm carrying you towards sleep. When nerves rise before some difficult moment, the instinct is to tell ourselves to calm down, and yet oddly, this often works poorly. A jangling, energized body is a hard thing to force into sudden stillness. The two states are simply too far apart, and the effort to leap between them can leave us more unsettled than before. But there is a gentler bridge. Rather than commanding calm, you can tell yourself simply that you are excited, and this small reframing often works far better because excitement and nervousness share the same quickened, energized body, differing only in the story told about it. It is a shorter journey from nervous to excited than from nervous to calm, and the body follows the nearer story more willingly. Researchers testing this found that people who named their pre-performance jitters as excitement did better and felt better than those who fought to feel calm. The pounding heart was simply given a kinder, closer name, and it settled into that name with ease. There is quiet wisdom here about not forcing your own feelings across too great a gap. Sometimes, the way toward peace is not to command the opposite of what you feel, but to reach for the nearest, gentler version of it. And in the softness before sleep, you can offer yourself the same kindness. If restlessness lingers, you need not wage war on it or demand instant stillness. You might simply meet it gently, name it something softer and nearer times. This is just my body, awake and alive and safe times. And let that closer, kinder story do the quiet work, easing you by small and honest steps down toward the calm where sleep begins. We touched earlier on how imagined practice can strengthen a real skill, and beneath that lies a truth worth resting in more fully. To your deeper brain, a vividly imagined experience and a real one are strikingly alike. Picture yourself biting into a lemon, truly. Picture it. The sourness, the sharp, bright taste, and your mouth may begin to water, your body responding to an image as though it were real fruit. Imagine a peaceful scene, and your body begins to calm, as though you were truly there. The brain does not draw as firm a line as we assume between what is happening and what is clearly pictured. Both travel many of the same pathways. Both stir many of the same responses. This is why a frightening thought can quicken the heart, though nothing has happened, and why a soothing image can slow it just the same. Your imagination is not idle daydreaming. It is a real lever on the real body, pulling responses into being from nothing but a vivid inner scene. There is a beautiful gift hidden in this for anyone seeking rest. You hold always. The power to imagine yourself somewhere gentle, and your body will begin in its own quiet way to go there. So you might picture now a place of perfect calm, a warm shore at dusk, a still and quiet room, a soft meadow under a fading sky. Build it gently with whatever small details soothe you most. And as the scene grows real in your mind, your body, unable to fully tell the difference, will begin to settle into it too, easing, softening, resting, as though you had truly arrived in that peaceful place and lain down there to sleep. The connection between mind and body runs in both directions, and this second direction is easy to forget. We know the mind can shape the body, but the body quietly also shapes the mind. The way you hold yourself, open or closed, upright or curled loose or tense, sends a subtle signal upward, gently nudging your mood in one direction or another. Sit, slumped and heavy, and a heaviness can seep into the feeling. Ease the body open and soft, and something in the mood lightens to match. The body is not merely the servant of the mind's states. It is also a quiet author of them, its posture and tension, whispering back up to the brain about how things must be going. This is why simply softening a clenched jaw or dropping tight shoulders can ease the feeling behind them, and why the body's comfort and the mind's comfort tend to move together. You are a single connected whole, the physical and the felt, forever speaking to one another. And this two-way street is a gift as you settle towards sleep, because it means you can reach the mind through the body when words alone won't do. You need not talk yourself into calm. You can simply arrange your body into calm's own shape and let the message travel upward on its own. So let your body take the posture of rest now, the shoulders loosening away from the ears, the hands falling open, the jaw unclenching, the whole frame growing soft and heavy against the bed. And as your body settles into the very shape of peace, feel how it quietly tells your mind from below that all is well and it is time to rest. When thoughts race at night, tumbling one over another with no gap between them, chasing them down rarely helps. The mind is too quick, too slippery to be caught by more thinking. But there is a quiet doorway out, always near, always open: the breath. When you rest your attention gently on your own breathing, simply watching it come and go without trying to change it, the racing begins, on its own, to slow. This works partly because attention is limited, as you know, and the more of it settles softly on the breath, the less is left to feed the spinning thoughts. Starved gently of the attention that fueled them, they lose their speed, their urgency, their grip. You are not fighting the thoughts. You are simply turning your quiet gaze elsewhere, toward the steady rise and fall of the breath, and letting the thoughts thin for lack of watching. This is one of the oldest and simplest practices there is, and it asks nothing of you but a soft and patient noticing. There is no right way to do it, nothing to achieve, no thought you must banish. When the mind wanders off, as it surely will, you need only notice gently, and return your attention to the breath once more, as many times as it takes, with no impatience at all. So you might rest your awareness now on the quiet motion of your own breathing, the cool air arriving, the warm air leaving, the small pause between. Just watch it softly, the way you might watch waves on a shore, and let the racing of the day slow to the gentle pace of that endless coming and going, until the thoughts grow quiet, and there is only the breath and rest. Here is a famous quiet lesson about how narrow the mind's spotlight truly is. People were asked to watch a short video and count how many times a ball was passed among players, a simple counting task demanding real focus. And while they counted, something remarkable walked directly through the scene, a person in a gorilla suit strolling calmly across the very center of the screen, pausing and moving on. Yet fully half the watchers absorbed in counting never saw the gorilla at all. It passed right before their open eyes, and their focused minds simply did not register it. This is not a failure of the eyes, but a revelation about attention when the spotlight is aimed hard at one thing. The rest of the world, however plain, can slip by entirely unseen. Focus, for all its usefulness, has a cost. What it excludes, it can exclude completely, even something as large as a gorilla in plain view. Your attention is not a wide window onto everything. It is a narrow beam, and outside that beam, much of the world quietly goes unnoticed. There is an unexpected comfort in this for the tired mind at night. If focused attention can make even a gorilla vanish, then it can just as easily let the day's worries vanish simply by resting the spotlight somewhere gentler. You do not have to hold everything in view. You are allowed to let your narrow beam of attention rest on one soft thing, the breath, a quiet image, the weight of your body, and let all the rest of the day walk quietly past the edges unseen and unbothering, while you attend only to the peace at the center and drift toward sleep. There is a gentle irony in sleep, one worth understanding softly so it holds less power over you. The more you fear you will not sleep, the harder sleep becomes. To reach for the very worry about sleeplessness stirs the body toward alertness, and an alert body is one that struggles to let go. When you lie down braced for a bad night, watching the clock, dreading the wakefulness, you quietly tense the system that most needs to loosen for sleep to come. The expectation of sleeplessness, like the nocebo we spoke of, can help create the very thing it fears. But naming this loosens its grip because it reveals the way out. The path to sleep is not to try harder, not to chase it or force it, for effort and vigilance are exactly what keep it away. The path is to stop trying to release the very demand that sleep must come and let the body settle without a task to accomplish. Sleep arrives most easily for those who are willing gently not to need it. So tonight, you can set down the whole project of falling asleep. You do not have to succeed at anything here. If sleep comes, it comes. If it takes its time, that is fine too. And rest itself, this quiet breathing stillness is already doing you good, whether or not it tips into sleep. Let go of watching for it. Let go of measuring it. Simply lie here in the warm, dark, breathing slow, expecting nothing, needing nothing, and let the pressure lift entirely from the night. And in that soft release, in that willingness not to chase it, sleep so often finds its own quiet way in. There is a reason a warm drink in the evening feels so comforting, and it runs deeper than the warmth alone. Yes, the heat itself soothes, easing the body gently. But much of the comfort flows from something quieter, the ritual of it, and the calm expectation that ritual carries. When you cradle a warm cup in the evening, night after night, your mind learns to read that small ceremony as a signal, a familiar sign that the day is closing, that rest is near, that it is safe now to begin letting go. The drink becomes more than a drink. It becomes a doorway, and simply stepping through it starts the settling. This is the placebo's gentle cousin at work, expectation quietly shaping experience. The warmth in your hands, the familiar smell rising, the slow sipping in the quiet. All of it tells your mind the same soft story. It has heard many evenings before, and the mind, trusting the pattern, begins to ease you towards sleep before the drink has done anything at all. The ritual itself is much of the medicine. There is something lovely in knowing that your small evening comforts hold this quiet power. The familiar cup, the same worn chair, the gentle sameness of how you close each day, these are not trivial habits but quiet keys, and turning them tells your deep mind that the safe hour has come. So whatever small ritual has brought you here tonight, let it work its gentle magic fully. Let the familiarity of it wrap around you like a soft and known thing, whispering to the oldest part of you that the day is done, the night is safe, and it is time at last to rest. When the mind is crowded with the day's chatter, its half-finished thoughts, its loops and lists and worries, there is a simple, ancient way to quiet the room. You choose one soft and calming word, and you repeat it gently, again and again, letting its quiet sound fill the space the chatter wants to occupy. Because your attention is limited, as you have seen, The mind cannot easily hold the busy chatter and the repeated word at once. The gentle repetition slowly crowds the noise out, giving the restless mind one soft, undemanding thing to rest upon, instead of many sharp ones. The word itself need not mean anything grand. Its power is in its softness and its steadiness, a small, still point the mind can return to whenever it drifts. This practice is old beyond counting, found in quiet traditions the world over, precisely because it works. A single repeated sound held lightly, easing a busy mind toward stillness. It asks no effort, only a patient returning over and over to the same gentle word. There is a deep kindness in giving your restless mind one simple thing to hold. It is tired at the end of a long day of holding so many. So you might choose a word now, something soft, something peaceful, whatever settles you. Times calm times, perhaps, or times rest times, or any quiet sound you like. And let it repeat itself gently in your mind, unhurried on the rhythm of your breath, no force behind it, just a soft and steady return. Let it fill the room where the day's noise was crowding the chatter kindly out, until only that one gentle word remains, and then even it grows faint, and there is quiet and sleep. We spoke before of how focus can fade and ache away, and there is a fuller truth here worth resting in. Pain is not a fixed quantity arriving unchanged from the body. It swells and fades depending on where your attention rests. Turn your full attention toward a hurt. Study it, worry it, watch it closely, and it tends to grow, filling more of your awareness, feeling larger and sharper than before. Let your attention drift gently away towards something absorbing or soothing, and the same hurt can shrink, softening at the edges, receding toward the quiet background of the mind. The signal from the body may be steady, but your experience of it bends to where you look. This is why the same injury can feel unbearable in an anxious, focused night and nearly forgotten in an easy, occupied afternoon. Your attention is a kind of magnifying glass, and pain grows or shrinks depending on whether that glass is trained upon it or turned softly away. You hold more of that glass in your own hands than the hurting hours usually let you feel. And this is a quiet comfort for any small discomfort you carry to bed. You do not have to lie there, watching an ache, magnifying it with your worried gaze. You can choose gently to rest your attention elsewhere, on the slow warmth of your breath, on the soft weight of the blankets, on a peaceful scene unfolding in your mind. You are not denying the hurt or fighting it. You are simply declining to hold the magnifying glass over it. And as your attention settles somewhere kinder, the ache can loosen its claim on you, shrinking quietly toward the edges of awareness, small enough at last to let you rest. Consider how much of a day is made of small waiting moments, a red light, a slow cue, a pause between one thing and the next. We usually spend them impatient, the mind straining ahead to what comes after. But each of these small pauses holds a quiet gift if you choose to take it. A single deep breath drawn slow and full in one of these idle moments can gently reset the nervous system, easing the accumulated tension of the day and returning you for a moment to calm. It does not take a long practice or a quiet room. It takes one breath, deliberately taken, in a gap that was going to be empty anyway. The body is always ready to be soothed, always waiting for the chance, and even a single slow breath is enough to tip it a little back toward peace. These scattered moments are like small, open doors to calm standing all through your day, most of them passed by unnoticed. This is a gentle thing to carry with you beyond tonight, the knowing that peace is never far, never requiring some special hour set aside. It waits in the smallest pauses, needing only one slow breath to be found. The stillness you are sinking into now is simply a longer, deeper version of that same reset. Many slow breaths instead of one, a whole quiet night instead of a moment at a light. And just as one breath can soften an afternoon, This gathering of breaths, this long, unhurried pause you are resting in, can soften the whole of the day now closing behind you. So take them slowly, these breaths, one after another, and let each one reset you a little further, down toward the deep calm of sleep. There is a voice inside you that speaks all day long, narrating, judging, worrying, commenting on you and your doings. Most of us never chose its tone. It simply grew, often sharper and harder than we would ever be with someone we loved. But here is the quiet freedom in it. That inner voice can rehearse kindness just as readily as it rehearses worry, and like any rehearsed thing, whichever it practices grows stronger. Speak to yourself harshly again and again, and the harsh path deepens. Speak to yourself gently again and again, and the gentle path is the one that widens and warms smooth. The voice is not fixed. It is a habit, and habits can be retrained by patient repetition, exactly as any other pathway in the mind can be reshaped. You are allowed to be your own kind companion rather than your own harsh critic. And this matters at the day's end more than almost any other hour, for the tone you take with yourself as you lie down shapes how gently you can rest. A mind rehearsing its failures and worries stays braced and wakeful. A mind offered a few soft words settles more easily toward sleep. So tonight, let the inner voice be a kind one. If it begins to list what went wrong or what remains undone, you can gently turn it, offering yourself instead the sort of words you would give a tired friend. Times you did enough today. You can set it down now. You are safe, and it is time to rest. Speak to yourself as someone worth comforting because you are, and let those soft words, rehearsed gently in the quiet, smooth the way down into a kinder, easier sleep. The pace of your body and the pace of your mind are quietly linked, each one gently pulling the other along. Move quickly, rushing, hurrying, your hands and steps sharp and fast, and your thoughts tend to quicken to match, tumbling faster, more anxious, more pressed. But slow your body deliberately, letting your movements grow soft and unhurried, and your thoughts, remarkably, begin to slow along with them, loosening their pace to keep the body company. The mind takes cues from the body's tempo, reading your slowness as a sign that there is no emergency, nothing to rush toward, and settling accordingly. This is why a frantic pace feeds a frantic mind, and why simply choosing to move gently can quiet the thoughts that racing only stirs. You can reach your restless mind, in part through the simple speed of your hands. There is a soft practice hidden here for the evening, and you may already be living it. As you prepare for rest, letting each movement grow slow and deliberate, the unhurried settling into bed, the gentle arranging of the pillow, the soft, slow motions of a body winding down, you are quietly telling your mind to slow as well. Nothing here needs to be rushed. There is nowhere else to be, no next thing pressing. So let your body move when it moves at all, at the pace of something with all the time in the world, and let your thoughts take that until both body and mind are moving at the quiet pace of sleep itself. Your mind reads light like a message about time, and it has been reading it this way for longer than there have been clocks. Bright light, especially the cool bright light of midday, tells your brain it is time to be alert and awake. But warm, dim light in the evening carries the opposite message, a quiet signal that the day is ending, that the world is darkening, that the alert mind may begin, at last, to settle toward rest. Deep in the brain systems attuned to light quietly track these shifts, and as the light around you softens and warms, they begin to release the body's own signals of drowsiness, gently lowering you toward sleep. Your evening dimness is not merely pleasant, it is a message your brain has waited all day to receive. This is why harsh, bright light late at night can hold sleep at bay, keeping the mind convinced it is still day, and why soft, warm light soothes and readies you for rest. You are, in a deep way, a creature of light and dark, your inner tide still turning to the ancient rhythm of the sun, and you can work gently with this old wisdom rather than against it. The soft low light around you now, is doing quiet work, telling the deep parts of your brain that the day is truly done and the safe dark hours have come. So let the dimness wrap around you. Kindly let your eyes rest in its gentleness, and let that old message reach the oldest parts of you, that the light has gone, the day is over, and it is time now, as it has been time for every creature at dusk since the beginning, to let go and sink towards sleep. A day is not remembered whole. It is remembered as a story, and you are the one who tells it. The events themselves, once past, are gone. What remains is the account you make of them, and that account is shaped by which moments you choose to dwell on and how you choose to frame them. Tell the story of a day as a string of frustrations, and that is the day that settles into memory, coloring how you recall it ever after. Tell it honestly, with its small graces included, the kindness, the quiet, the things that went well among the things that didn't, and a gentler day is the one you keep. The past is not fixed the moment it happens. It is quietly written and rewritten in the telling, and you hold more of the pen than you might think. This is not about pretending a hard day was easy. It is about telling the fuller, truer story, one that lets the good in, rather than letting the difficult crowd it all out. And the hour before sleep is when much of this telling happens, as the mind reviews the day now closing. So the story you tell yourself now, in the quiet, will shape the day you carry forward into memory. You might then let tonight's telling be a gentle and generous one. Look back on the day now ending, and let yourself include its softer moments, a small comfort, a task completed, a kindness given or received, even just the simple fact that you made it here, to this quiet place of rest. You need not force brightness onto what was hard. Only let the whole truth in the good along with the rest. And let that fuller, kinder story be the one you carry down into sleep. There are moments when a thought simply will not move, a problem circling with no way out, a feeling knotted and stuck, the mind spinning in the same place, no matter how hard you press it. And often the answer is not to think harder, but to rise and walk. A short, gentle walk can loosen a thought that sitting could not. The simple rhythm of moving through space, quietly shaking the mind free of its rut. Something in the steady motion, the changing scene, the body's easy rhythm, lets the mind loosen its grip and drift into new arrangements it could not reach while held still. Ideas that would not come at the desk arrive on the path. Feelings that felt immovable soften with the steps. This is why so many people, across so many ages, have walked to think and walked to soothe the body's gentle movement, doing what stillness and effort could not. The mind, it seems, sometimes needs the body to move before it can move itself. There is a soft wisdom here even for a restless night, though the walk need not be a literal one. It is the same truth that says, a stuck mind loosens with gentle motion, and even the slow rise and fall of your breath. The small, easy shifting of your body toward comfort carries a whisper of that same freeing rhythm. You need not lie rigid wrestling a thought that will not yield. You can let a little gentle motion in a slow breath, a soft settling, a quiet loosening, and let it do for the knotted thought what force could not, easing it free, letting it drift on and away until the mind, unstuck at last, is free to soften and sink toward rest. Because the body cannot fully tell a vivid image from a real thing, as you have seen. A peaceful scene held in the mind can reach all the way down into the muscles and begin gently to loosen them. When you picture yourself somewhere calm and safe, a quiet shore, a warm and sunlit room, a soft meadow under an open sky, your body responds as though you were truly there, easing its held tension, letting the tightness it has carried all day begin to unwind. The muscles do not know the difference between a real safe place and a clearly imagined one. Both tell them the same soothing thing, that there is no danger here, that it is safe now to let go. So the imagined calm becomes real calm in the body tension draining from places you did not even know you were holding. This is one of the gentlest tools you carry always with you, needing nothing but a quiet mind and a little soft attention. You can go anytime to a peaceful place that exists only in imagining, and your body will begin to travel there too. So let yourself picture such a place now, whatever place means peace to you. Build it softly, the light in it, the warmth, the quiet sounds, the feeling of safety that fills it. And as the scene grows real and gentle in your mind, let your body believe it. Feel the tension beginning to release the shoulders, softening the jaw, unclenching the deep, tired muscles of the back and legs, slowly letting go one by one, as though you had truly arrived in that calm place and lain down there, safe and warm, with nothing left to hold, and nothing left to do but rest. Sometimes the body has been tense for so long that it has forgotten what release even feels like. The tightness has become its ordinary state, held so steadily that you no longer notice you are holding it. There is an old and gentle way to teach the body to let go again, and it works by contrast. You tense a muscle deliberately, gently holding it tight for a slow moment, and then you let it go all at once. And in that sudden release, the body remembers vividly the feeling of loosening, of softening, of letting go. Moving through the body this way, part by part, tensing and then releasing, you teach each muscle in turn to find its way back to rest. The deliberate tightening makes the release deeper and clearer, so the body cannot miss the difference between holding and letting go. It is a quiet lesson in relaxation, taught to the body in its own language of sensation rather than words. And it works precisely because it does not ask you to simply relax on command, which the body often cannot do, but shows it the path through the vivid contrast of tight and loose. You might offer your body this gentle teaching now slowly wherever it feels tense. Draw a soft tightness into your feet, hold it a moment, then let it fall away completely and feel how the release spreads warm and heavy through them. Move upward, unhurried, the legs, the belly, the hands, the shoulders, the face, each one tensed softly, then let go until every part of you has remembered, freshly, what it feels like to release. And when you have moved through the whole of yourself this way, let your body rest in that deep, remembered softness, loose and heavy, and finally fully let go into sleep. Running through your body is a long, wandering nerve, one of the great quiet keepers of your calm, and it can be reached gently through something as simple as sound. When you hum or make a long, soft, steady tone, the gentle vibration of it stimulates this nerve, where it passes near your throat, and that stimulation nudges the whole body toward its resting, soothing state, the heart easing, the breath deepening, the system settling. It is a small and lovely thing that a sound you make yourself can reach an inner nerve and quiet you from within. This is part of why humming a soft tune can feel unaccountably soothing, and why long, low, gentle sounds have found their way into so many quieting practices across the world. The sound itself becomes a kind of inner touch, a vibration that speaks directly to the body's calming pathways, needing no words and no meaning, only a soft and steady tone. You carry this instrument always in your own throat and breath, and it pairs quietly with the long, slow exhale you already know eases you for a hum, is, after all, simply a breath let out slowly with a soft sound riding upon it. So if you like, you might let a low, gentle hum ride out on your next slow exhale, soft, unhurried, barely more than a breath, with a quiet tone in it, and feel the faint, warm vibration of it in your chest and throat. There is no need for music, no tune to reach, just the softest, steady sound carried out on a long, slow breath. And with each one, feel that old wandering nerve receiving the gentle signal, and answering and easing you hum by soft hum deeper toward the quiet of sleep. We return softly to the quiet power of expectation, because it holds a truth worth carrying close. When you genuinely expect a remedy to help you, that expectation can make it measurably more helpful. The belief itself, adding real relief atop whatever the remedy does, on its own. A soothing balm applied with the trust that it will work brings more comfort than the same balm applied with doubt. A rest taken in the belief that it will restore you restores you more fully. The mind's expectation is not a passive bystander to your comfort. It is an active ingredient, quietly amplifying whatever good you reach for. This is not to say belief can replace all remedies, but that belief walks alongside them, adding its own quiet measure of help. Your trust in your own comfort is itself a kind of comfort, folding real ease into the experience. And this gentle law is working for you right now, in this very ritual of winding down. If you come to this quiet time expecting it to soothe you, trusting that these slow breaths, this soft, dark, this settling stillness will carry you toward rest, then that very expectation makes them work a little better, deepening the calm they bring. Your belief in the peace of this hour helps create the peace of this hour. So let the trust be whole and easy tonight. Let yourself expect simply and gently that this time will be restful, that your body knows how to soften, that sleep will come in its own kind way. That expectation is not a small or foolish thing. It is a real ingredient in the calm you are making, quietly strengthening the ease you are already sinking into, and helping the gentle rest you trust in become softly the rest you find. Thoughts arrive at all hours, and at night especially they can seem to demand attention, each one insisting it be held, examined, worried over, solved. But a thought holds only the urgency you lend it. When a passing thought arrives, and you simply let it go, noticing it, and choosing not to seize it, not to follow it, not to hold it fast, it quietly loses its urgency and drifts on, thinning as it goes. The urgency was never in the thought itself. It was in your grasping of it. Loosen the grasp, and the thought floats past like a leaf on a stream, its insistence draining away for lack of anything to hold on to. This is a gentle art, and it is the opposite of the effortful pushing away that only gives a thought more weight. You are not fighting the thought or forcing it out. You are simply declining to pick it up, letting it pass through the mind as freely as it entered. And what is not held cannot take root. What is not grasped cannot demand. There is deep rest available in this small releasing, and it is exactly the art that sleep asks of you. As you lie here, thoughts will surely drift up, a stray worry, a fragment of the day, a small task remembered. You need not seize any of them. You can let each one arrive and be noticed, and then let it go unheld, watching it float on past without following it anywhere. There is nothing here you must think about, nothing you must solve tonight. So let the thoughts come and go like a quiet passing weather, holding none of them, and feel how each one you release drains a little more urgency from the night, until the mind holding nothing at all grows still enough for sleep. A worry left in the mind tends to loop, circling back again and again, repeating itself, never quite resolving, because the mind fears that if it stops holding the worry will be lost. But there is a simple way to break the loop and set the mind at ease. You write the worry down. Once it is safely captured on paper, the mind can loosen its anxious grip, no longer needing to circle the thought endlessly to keep it from slipping away. The worry is held now somewhere outside you, and the mind, reassured, can finally let it rest. Studies have found that people who write down their worries or jot the next day's tasks before bed often fall asleep more easily. The simple act of setting the thoughts on paper, freeing the mind from its work of guarding them. It is as though the page becomes a trusted keeper, taking the burden off the mind's tired hands. What loops in the head can lie still on the paper. There is a quiet kindness you can offer yourself in this, on any night, when the mind will not stop circling. If a worry or a list of tomorrow's tasks keeps looping as you try to rest, you might set it down on paper if you wish, or even just gently in your mind, telling yourself the thought is noted, held safe to be dealt with when the time is right. You are not dismissing it. You are entrusting it somewhere, so your mind need not clutch it through the night. and once it is set down and safely kept, the mind can loosen, at last, released from its guarding, free to grow quiet and soft and unburdened, and to sink unlooping gently down towards sleep. We have spoken of attention as a narrow beam, a spotlight aimed at one thing, but that same attention can also open wide, softening from a sharp point into a broad and gentle awareness that holds a whole room at once. Instead of pointing hard at a single object, you can let your attention spread out, taking in everything softly and nothing sharply, the whole space around you held in a loose, even awareness, like a lens pulled back to hold the entire view. In this widened state, nothing is gripped or strained toward. The mind simply rests open and receptive, aware of all of it, without clutching any of it. This is a very different way of attending than the tight focus of the day, and it feels different, too spacious, soft, unhurried, with none of the effort that pointed focus demands. The narrow beam is for doing. This wide, soft awareness is for being and for resting. You can move between them, and knowing you can is a quiet gift. For sleep asks, not for the sharp beam, but for this wide and gentle openness, this letting go of any single point of focus. So you might let your attention widen now, releasing its grip on any one thing, instead of focusing on these words or on a single thought. Let your awareness spread soft and even across the whole quiet space around you. The dark of the room, the weight of your body, the faint sounds at the edges, all of it held loosely together in one gentle, unfocused awareness. Grip nothing. Reach for nothing. Just let the mind rest wide and soft and open, holding the whole quiet night at once, without clutching any part of it. And in that spacious softness, let yourself begin to drift towards sleep. You may have noticed how a yawn spreads. One person yawns, and soon another does too, the urge passing quietly around a room without a word. And you may have felt how a good yawn brings a small wave of relief, a brief, soft resetting. There is gentle science beneath this. A yawn is thought to help cool the brain, drawing in a deep breath and a stretch that briefly refreshes the mind. And the way it passes from person to person is a quiet echo of how deeply we are wired to mirror one another. Even reading about yawning or thinking of it can bring one on, and you may feel the urge rising softly even now at the mere mention of it. That pull you might feel is your body's old readiness to join, to mirror, to share a state with those around you. And a yawn near bedtime is a friendly sign, a small signal that the body is loosening, shifting gears, beginning its turn toward rest. It is not something to stifle, but something to welcome, a gentle little reset offered freely by the body itself. So if a yawn rises in you now, let it come fully unhurried, that deep drawing breath, that soft stretch through the jaw, that brief, cool wave of ease that follows. Let it be as wide and slow as it wants to be. Each yawn is your body quietly clearing itself, cooling and resetting, easing you a small step further toward sleep. There is no need to hold it back or hurry past it. Welcome each one as the gentle signal. It is the body saying softly that the day is ending and rest is drawing near, and let it carry you a little deeper into the quiet. The pleasure of a good thing does not wait for the thing itself. It begins in the anticipating. When you look forward to something you love, a warm meal, a rest you have earned, a gentle moment ahead, your brain begins releasing its own chemicals of reward and wanting before the thing has even arrived, so that the looking forward carries a real sweetness of its own. This is why the evening before a happy day can glow with its own quiet joy, and why anticipation itself can feel so warm. The brain does not simply react to good things. It reaches toward them ahead of time, lighting up in expectation, tasting the pleasure in advance. Much of the joy of anything lies in the sweet leaning toward it, in the quiet gladness of knowing it is coming. You are built to savor good things before they come, not only when they arrive. And this gentle truth has a soft place in your night. The rest you are moving toward now is a good thing, and simply anticipating it, looking forward quietly to the deep and easy sleep ahead, can begin its sweetness early, the mind warming toward the rest, before the rest has fully come. You might let yourself feel that gentle anticipation now, the pleasure of the soft bed already holding you, the deep sleep drawing near, the whole long, quiet night of rest, stretching ahead of you like something good and certain. Lean toward it softly, gladly, the way you might lean toward any welcome thing. Let the looking forward be its own quiet comfort, warming you even now, so that the rest begins its sweetness in the anticipating and carries you glad and easy down into the sleep you are so gently reaching toward. When the mind is spinning high up in its thoughts, caught in worry or planning or endless circling, there is a simple way to bring it gently down. You rest your attention on your own feet, turning your awareness to the far end of the body, feeling the weight of your feet, their warmth, the faint sensations in them, quietly draws the mind down out of its spinning and into the settled ground of the body. It is hard for the mind to race in the head and rest in the feet at once. Giving it the feet to attend to loosens its grip on the spinning thoughts above. The higher the mind climbs into its worried loops, the more grounding it is to sink attention all the way down to where the body meets the earth. This is a small anchor you carry always at the very bottom of yourself. And it works precisely because it moves attention from the abstract spinning realm of thought into the simple present realm of sensation, where there is nothing to worry and nothing to solve, only the quiet fact of the body. Here now at rest, you might try this gentle descent now. Let your attention travel down, away from any thoughts turning in your head, all the way to your feet. Feel them there at the end of you, their weight, their warmth, the soft pressure of the covers or the bed against them. Rest your awareness there for a while in that quiet, faraway place, and feel how the mind, following your attention downward, begins to settle out of its spinning. From your feet you might let a soft heaviness spread slowly upward through the whole of you, grounding and warm until the mind is no longer high and spinning but low and settled and heavy, sinking with the body towards sleep. The words you say to yourself are not only heard by the mind, they are felt in the body. When you speak to yourself harshly, criticizing, blaming, listing your faults, the body responds as it would to any threat, tightening, tensing, readying its stress response as though danger were near. But when you speak to yourself with kindness, the body hears that too, and answers by softening, its stress response easing, its guarded tension loosening toward calm. Self-compassion is not merely a pleasant idea. It is felt physically, the gentle words reaching down into the body and quieting the very systems that harshness stirs up. To be kind to yourself is to send your own body a signal of safety, and the body, always listening, settles in reply. You hold, in the tone you take with yourself, a real lever on your own physical calm. And this matters deeply in the hour of rest, for a body braced by self-criticism cannot easily let go into sleep. So the kindness you offer yourself now is not indulgence. It is a quiet loosening of the body's held stress, a settling of the systems that must settle for sleep to come. Speak to yourself then, as you would to someone dear and tired at the end of a long day. Tell yourself softly that you did what you could, that the day is done now and can be set down, that you are safe here and it is time to rest. Let the words be warm and forgiving, the kind you would give without hesitation to anyone you loved, and feel how the body, hearing that kindness, unclenches in answer, the tension easing, the guardedness dissolving the whole tired frame of you, softening into safety, and from that safety, gently into sleep. Your attention, the focused kind you spend all day, is a limited thing, and it wears thin with use. The more you spend directing it, holding it, forcing it back to tasks, the more depleted and frayed it becomes. But there is a quiet way it is restored, and it is gentle time in nature. When you spend unhurried time among natural things, trees, water, sky, the soft, unbidden movement of leaves, your worn attention is quietly replenished, because nature holds the mind in a soft, effortless way, asking nothing of it, letting the tired, focusing part of you finally rest. Unlike the sharp demands of the busy world, the natural world draws the eye gently, without strain, and in that gentle, undemanding hold, the depleted attention slowly refills. This is why a walk among trees can leave the mind clearer than before, and why even looking at natural things soothes and restores. Nature does not tax the mind, it quietly mends it, and you can carry a little of this restoration into your rest, even indoors, even in the dark. For the same gentle, effortless quality that nature offers is exactly what you can give your mind now. A soft place to rest attention that asks nothing back, demands no focus, requires no effort at all. You might let your tired mind rest in imagining among quiet natural things, a still lake under a fading sky, the soft sound of gentle water, the slow sway of branches in a calm evening breeze. Let it be a place that asks nothing of you, where your worn attention can simply be held softly and refilled. And as your depleted mind rests there in that gentle imagined quiet feel, it easing, mending, letting go of the day's long effort and softening at last toward the deep restoration of sleep. There is a quiet thing happening in you as you take in these slow and gentle words, something you may not have noticed. When you follow a slow, unhurried voice or a slow, calm passage, your breath tends to lengthen and settle to match its pace, drawn gently into a slower rhythm by the very slowness of the words themselves. The mind, following an unhurried cadence, quietly asks the breath to keep it company, and the breath, willing, slows to fall in step. So the gentle pace of what you are receiving now has been softly reshaping your breathing all along, lengthening it, easing it, without any effort on your part. This is part of why slow, gentle words soothe so deeply. They do not only calm the mind with their meaning, but calm the body with their pace. The unhurried rhythm seeping down into the breath and the heart. You have been quietly slowing this whole time, carried by the very slowness of these lines. And so the words themselves have become a kind of gentle guide for your breathing, a soft, slow rhythm for you to lean into and follow down. There is nothing you need to do about this. It is already happening, but you might if you like. Simply notice it now, how your breath has grown slower and longer as these quiet sentences have unfolded, how it has fallen all on its own into the unhurried pace of the words. Let it keep following. Let each slow line draw your breath a little longer, a little softer, the way a slow tide draws gently at the shore. And as the words grow ever slower and gentler from here, let your breath grow slower and gentler with them, until both are moving at the quiet, drifting pace of someone very nearly asleep. The brain loves a pattern, and it reads the patterns of your evening as a kind of clock. When you follow the same gentle sequence each night before bed, the same soft steps, in the same order, at the same quiet hour, your brain learns to read that familiar ritual as a signal that rest is near and begins preparing you for sleep, before you have even lain down. The dimming of the lights, the settling into the same soft place, the same slow winding down, done night after night. These become a message the brain knows by heart, and simply beginning them starts the quiet descent towards sleep. The ritual does not need to be elaborate. It needs only to be familiar, repeated gently, until the brain learns its meaning. And once learned, it works on its own, the mere start of the sequence telling the deep mind that the safe and restful hour has come. Your evening pattern is a quiet keeper of your sleep. There is real comfort in this, and real usefulness for it means the way to easier sleep is not effort, but gentle sameness. The same soft steps return to faithfully until they carry you down, almost on their own. And the very fact that you have come here to this quiet time in this familiar way is itself part of such a ritual, a signal your mind is already learning to read. So let the familiarity of this hour do its quiet work. Let the sameness of it, the settling, the dimming, the slow, gentle winding down you have come to know, tell the deep parts of your brain the message they have learned to trust. That the day is done, the safe hour has arrived, and it is time, as it is every night at this hour, to let go and sink toward rest. Even the way you hold your eyes speaks to the body about whether it is time to wake or time to rest. A sharp, focused gaze, eyes wide and darting, tells the body to stay alert, ready, engaged with the world. But a soft, unfocused gaze in dim light tells it the opposite, that there is nothing more to watch for, nothing to track or study, that it is safe now to begin letting go. When you let your eyes go soft and heavy in the low evening light, no longer focusing sharply on anything, you send the body a quiet signal that the day's watching is done, and the body begins in answer to settle toward sleep. The eyes are among the first things to relax as sleep approaches, and softening them deliberately can gently invite the rest of you to follow. Your gaze is a quiet doorway to your own calm, and letting it soften opens that door. This is why staring hard at a bright screen holds sleep away, keeping the eyes and the mind sharply engaged, and why letting the gaze grow soft and dim eases you toward rest. So, you might let your eyes soften now in the low light around you. Let them grow heavy, unfocused, no longer studying anything, no longer holding sharp on any point, just resting loose, and dim the way eyes rest when sleep is drawing near. And if they wish to close, let them close. There is nothing left to watch for tonight, nothing that needs your looking. Let the softening of your gaze become the softening of the whole of you. That quiet signal, spreading gently from your eyes through all your tired body, the day's watching over, the seeing set down the eyes at rest, and you behind them sinking softly toward sleep. The body holds its tension in gathering places, and two of the greatest are the jaw and the shoulders. All through a day, without ever deciding to, we clench the jaw and lift the shoulders toward the ears, holding a quiet tightness there that we rarely notice until we go looking for it. And here is the gentle secret of these places: they are like gateways. So that when you deliberately release the jaw and let the shoulders drop, the whole body tends to follow tension, loosening far beyond just those two spots. Softening these gathering places sends a wave of release outward through the rest of you, as though the body had been waiting only for permission to let the tightness go. Unclench the jaw, and the face softens, the neck eases. Let the shoulders fall and the back and chest loosen with them. These small releases open the way for a larger one. You carry in these two easy-to-reach places, a kind of key to the calm of your whole body. So you might go to them gently now and see what they have been holding. Let your attention rest first on your jaw and let it unclench, the teeth parting slightly, the whole jaw growing loose and heavy and slack. Then let it move to your shoulders and let them drop, sliding down and away from your ears, releasing the long day's quiet holding. Feel how, as these two places let go, a softness begins to spread outward through the rest of you, down the neck, across the chest, along the back, the whole body following the lead of these gateways, loosening, sinking, letting go. And in that spreading release, let yourself grow heavy and soft all over, and sink gently down towards sleep, because your attention can hold only so much. Resting it fully on a single sound lets everything else grow quiet around it. When you let your awareness settle softly on one gentle sound, the hum of the air, the faint rhythm of your own breath, some low, steady note in the quiet, the rest of the world's small noises begin to recede. No longer competing for the attention now given to that one sound. You are not straining to block the other sounds. You are simply resting on one, and in that resting, the others soften and fade of their own accord. The single sound becomes a quiet anchor, a soft place for the mind to gather itself, while everything around it dims into a gentle background hush. This is a very old way of settling the mind, and it works through that same gentle law of limited attention you have come to know. Give the mind one soft thing to hold, and it releases the many. There is deep rest available in this narrowing to a single quiet sound. So you might let your attention settle now on one gentle sound in the stillness around you, whatever soft, steady sound is nearest, or simply the quiet sound of your own slow breathing, the faint whisper of each breath coming and going. Rest there softly on that one sound alone, and as you do, feel how everything else begins to fade. The small noises of the house, the faint sounds beyond the walls, all receding gently into the background, unimportant now, unbothering. Let there be only that one soft sound, and you, resting on it, the whole world, narrowed to that single quiet thread. And then let even that sound grow faint and far as you slip past it down into sleep. Your breath is a language your body speaks to itself. And slow, even breathing says one thing clearly: safety. When the body is frightened or stressed, the breath goes quick and shallow and ragged, and the brain, reading this, prepares for danger. But when the breath is slow and even and smooth, the brain reads that too, and understands it as a sign that all is well, that there is no threat here. No emergency, nothing to brace against, and it settles the body accordingly, easing it toward calm. This is why deliberately breathing slowly and evenly can soothe you, even when nothing else has changed. The calm breath itself tells the brain you are safe, and the brain believes it. You need not convince yourself of safety with reasons. You can simply breathe as a safe body breathes, and let the brain draw the gentle conclusion. Your breath speaks to your deepest self in a language older than words, and it is always listening. So you might offer your body that quiet message now, simply through the way you breathe. Let your breath grow slow and even and smooth, not forced, not deep, just easy and unhurried. The soft, steady breathing of a body at peace. Let each breath be as calm and regular as the last, a quiet, even rhythm with nothing ragged in it. And as you breathe this way, know that your brain is reading it, understanding it, drawing from it the oldest and most welcome conclusion of all, that you are safe, that all is well, that there is nothing here to guard against. Let that message of safety spread softly through you, on each slow, even breath settling you deeper, telling every part of you that it is safe at last to rest. There is a quiet trick the body can be gently led into, and it works, because the body follows the breath so faithfully. When you are truly asleep, your breathing takes on a particular shape, slow, deep, soft, and even, rising and falling in an unhurried rhythm all its own. And here is the gentle secret: if you breathe now, as though you were already asleep, mimicking that slow, deep, even rhythm, you can draw real sleep closer, coaxing the body toward the state whose breathing you are borrowing. The body reads the breath of sleep and begins softly to believe that sleep must be near, settling itself the rest of the way toward it. You are not forcing sleep, which never works, but gently inviting it by wearing its rhythm, letting the body follow the breath down into the real thing. It is a soft imitation that becomes slowly the truth it imitates. So you might let your breath take on the shape of sleeping breath now. Let it grow slow and deep and soft, rising and falling in that gentle, even rhythm the body knows so well from sleep, unhurried, quiet, each breath long and smooth and easy, just as it will be when you have truly drifted off. Do not force it. Simply let it settle into that sleeping shape, and let the body notice. Feel how as you breathe the breath of sleep, the body begins to follow, growing heavier, softer, more still, believing more and more that sleep is here. And let that borrowed rhythm carry you the last gentle distance, the imitation deepening into the real thing until the breath you are only borrowing becomes, without your noticing the moment, the true slow breath of you asleep. While you rest tonight, a quiet and tender work will unfold in you without any effort of your own. Your mind will take the memories of the day, the sharp ones, the sweet ones, the ones that stung, and it will soften them and settle them, filing each into its place, smoothing the rough edges, weaving the day gently into the long fabric of all you have lived. This is one of sleep's quiet labors, not merely to rest you, but to tend your memories, to strengthen what matters, and soothe what hurt, so that you wake with the day somehow more settled than when you lay down. The difficult moments lose a little of their sharpness overnight. The good ones find their quiet place to be kept. You do not have to sort any of this yourself. You need only sleep and let the tending happen in the dark, faithfully as it does every night. There is such kindness in this arrangement and such release. Whatever the day held, its worries, its small hurts, its things unfinished, you can lay it all down now, unsorted and unresolved, and trust your sleeping mind to do the gentle work of settling it for you. You need not make peace with the day before you sleep. Sleep itself will help make that peace. So set the day down now, all of it just as it is, and let yourself rest. And as you drift off, know that even as you lie still and unaware, your mind will be quietly tending you, softening what was hard, settling what was scattered, folding the whole day kindly away so that you might wake come morning lighter than you are now, the day gently settled and you gently restored. There is a rhythm the body knows before it knows anything else, a slow, steady beat. That was the first sound you ever heard, long before birth, the quiet pulse of a heartbeat, soft and even and unhurried. And something in us settles at that rhythm, still drawn towards stillness by a slow, steady beat, the way we were once soothed by the pulse that surrounded us at the very beginning. A slow rhythm, close to the pace of a resting heart, quietly invites the mind to grow still, calling to something very deep and very old in us, a memory of safety from before we had any memories at all. This is why slow, steady rhythms soothe so profoundly, why a gentle rocking or a soft, even beat can quiet even a restless mind. They speak to the oldest part of us, the part first comforted by a heartbeat in the dark. You carry that deep comfort within you, always ready to be summoned by any slow and steady rhythm. And you can offer it to yourself now, in the rhythm of your own quiet breathing, or in the slow, steady beat of your own resting heart, which you might just faintly feel if you grow still enough to notice. Let your attention rest on some slow, gentle rhythm, your breath rising and falling, your heart beating soft, and even the quiet, unhurried pace of this very moment. Let that slow steadiness call to the oldest part of you, the part that was soothed by a heartbeat before you were even born, and let it invite you, as it did at the very beginning, towards stillness and safety and rest, the mind growing quiet at that ancient rhythm, settling, softening, drifting down towards sleep on the oldest lullaby there is. There is a way of holding attention that changes the very texture of your thoughts. When attention is gripped tight, pointed hard, held with effort, forced to stay, thinking grows sharp and fast and pressed, thoughts coming quick and edged. But when attention rests, lightly held, loosely allowed to settle where it will without force, your thinking softens in answer, turning slow and loose, and unhurried thoughts drifting rather than racing, arriving gently rather than pressing in. The looseness of your attention becomes the looseness of your mind. This is why straining to relax so often fails the very grip of the effort, keeps the thinking tight, and why letting attention go soft and easy lets the whole mind follow into softness. You do not tighten your way toward calm thinking. You loosen your way there. The lightness of your hold on attention quietly reshapes how your thoughts themselves feel. And this is exactly the softening that sleep is made of. So you might let your attention grow light now, releasing any grip it holds. Do not point it hard at anything, not even at these words. Let it rest wherever it drifts, loose and easy, held by nothing, forcing nothing. And as your attention softens, feel your thinking soften with it, the sharp, fast thoughts of the day loosening, slowing, growing gentle and vague and unhurried, drifting now, rather than racing. Let the thoughts come loose and soft, half-formed, wandering where they will, with no effort holding them to any shape. This soft, loose drifting of the mind is the very doorway to sleep, and you are standing in it now. So let your attention stay light and your thinking stay soft, and let both drift loose and easy down through that open doorway into rest. Sleep is not something you make happen. It is something you allow. The mind, given quiet permission and left unforced, drifts toward rest, all on its own, the way water finds its level, when nothing holds it back. It does not need to be pushed or steered or worked at. It needs only to be freed from the demand that it stay awake and alert, and it will settle towards sleep naturally, following its own gentle inclination downward. All the trying, all the effort to fall asleep is what holds it up. Release the effort, grant the quiet permission, and the mind sinks toward rest of its own accord. You are not the maker of your sleep, but its permitter, and the permission is a letting go rather than a doing. This is the gentlest truth of all about rest, that it comes not by effort, but by the release of effort, not by holding on, but by letting go. Your mind already knows the way. It has traveled it every night of your life. It asks only that you stop standing in its way. So give it that quiet permission now. Stop trying to sleep, stop working toward it, stop watching for it to come. Simply let go of the effort of the wanting, of the whole small project of falling asleep, and let your mind do what it already knows how to do. There is nothing you need to accomplish here, nothing to steer, nothing to make happen. Your mind will drift toward rest on its own, if you only allow it, sinking softly downward the moment you stop holding it up. So loosen your hold entirely now, grant the gentle permission, and let your mind go where it has always known how to go, all on its own, down into sleep. We have spoken of the mind's power to control so much attention, pain, the breath, the body's calm. But here, near the end, is perhaps the gentlest form of that power, and the one that matters most for rest. The deepest control is not the grip, but the release. Letting go of the very next thought, choosing not to seize it, is itself a soft and genuine kind of mastery. It takes a quiet strength to not follow a thought, to let it arise and pass, without chasing it, to hold your attention loose when it wants to grab. And this releasing is the truest control of all, because it is the mind gently governing itself, not by force, but by the wise choice to let go. All night we have explored the mind's quiet powers, and they arrive in the end at this: the power simply to release, to let the next thought drift by unheld. So you might practice this softest mastery now, with each thought that arises. As a thought comes a stray worry, a fragment, a small pull toward wakefulness, you need not follow it. You can simply let it go, releasing it gently, choosing not to seize the next one either, nor the one after that. Each thought you release is a small act of quiet control, the mind softly governing itself toward rest. There is no effort in it, only a gentle, repeated letting go as many times as thoughts arise. And this is the whole art of falling asleep, not the grasping of anything, but the soft releasing of everything, thought by thought, until there are no more thoughts to release, and the mind, having let go of all of it, is finally quietly at rest. All through this quiet time we have wandered among the mind's powers, its control over attention and pain, its shaping of what we see and feel, its quiet governing of the body's calm, and they gather at the last into one gentle truth, that the highest mastery of the mind is not to drive it or direct it, but simply to allow it to rest. For all the mind can do, its deepest need is the same as yours tonight, to be let go of, to be freed from every task, and demand to be allowed to grow quiet and still. The gentlest control is no control at all, only a soft permission for the mind to lay down its work and rest. You have spent a lifetime asking things of your mind. Tonight you ask nothing. And in that asking nothing lies the deepest ease of all. To let the mind rest is the kindest thing you can do for it, and the wisest. So let it rest now fully. Ask nothing more of it tonight, no thinking, no solving, no watching, no working. Let it set down everything it has carried through the day and simply be still, unburdened, free. You do not need to guide it anymore, or steer it, or hold it to anything at all. The gentlest mastery is here, in this quiet, allowing this soft permission for your tired mind to stop and rest. So grant it that permission now completely. Let your mind grow still and quiet and free, released from every demand aloud, at last simply to rest. And in that gentle allowing, feel yourself settling all the way down, mind and body together, soft and still and unburdened, into the deep and welcome quiet of sleep. Your mind holds a quiet and remarkable gift, one so ordinary you may never have paused to marvel at it. It can notice its own wandering. When your thoughts drift off away into some distant place, a part of you can gently notice that they have gone and softly bring them home again. You have felt this 1,000 times without naming it, the small, quiet moment of coming back, of realizing you had drifted and returning without any scolding, just a gentle homecoming. This is the mind, watching itself with kindness, able to see where it has gone and to guide itself softly back. And there is no effort needed in the returning. No need to hold the mind in place. It is enough simply to notice and to come back as many times as it takes. So if your thoughts have wandered even now, drifting off somewhere in the quiet, you need only notice gently and let them come home. There is nothing to correct, nothing you did wrong. The wandering is natural, and so is the coming back. Let them return now softly to this warm and quiet place, to the slow rise and fall of your breath, to the gentle weight of you settling into rest. And should they wander off again, as they will, let that be fine too. Just notice and come home, and notice and come home, each return a little softer than the last, until the wandering itself grows slow and dim, and the mind, tired of roaming, simply stays home at last, here in the quiet, ready now for sleep. Notice for just a moment how you are breathing now. Somewhere in this quiet time, without your ever forcing it, your breath has grown slower and softer, sinking on its own into a gentle, unhurried rhythm. You did not have to make this happen. It happened as you settled the breath, quietly following you down, into calm, lengthening, and softening, all on its own. This is your body doing what it knows how to do, easing itself toward rest the moment it was given the chance. And there is something deeply reassuring in it, that so much of your calm arrives without effort, your own breath tending you gently while you simply rest. You need not manage your breathing tonight, nor guide it, nor hold it to any pace. It has already found its own quiet way, slow and soft and easy, and it will carry you the rest of the distance on its own. So let it. Let your breath keep breathing you slow and gentle, without any help from you at all. There is nothing left to do here, nothing to control. Your breath knows the way to rest, and it is taking you there now, one soft, slow breath after another, without your needing to lift a finger. Feel how easy it has become, how little it asks of you. Just this slow, soft breathing carrying you down deeper and deeper into the quiet. Let it. Let your own gentle breath do the last of the work, softly, faithfully, while you simply rest in its care and drift. The mind that carried you through the whole busy day, thinking, deciding, racing from thing to thing, is the very same mind that knows just as deeply how to rest. It is not two minds, but one, as skilled at stillness as it is at motion, as practiced in letting go as in holding on. All that racing was only one of its gifts. The other, quieter gift is the one it turns to now, and it knows this one just as well. You do not have to teach your mind how to rest, or worry that it has forgotten. Resting is as natural to it as thinking, woven into it just as deeply. So you can trust it now, this same faithful mind, to do the quieter thing it knows so well. There is such comfort in this. The mind that felt so busy today is not your adversary in the search for rest. It is the very thing that will carry you there, drawing on a skill it has always had. It does not need to be fought or subdued, only allowed to shift gently from its daytime gift to its nighttime one. So let it make that quiet shift now. Let the same mind that raced all day slow into the stillness it knows equally well, turning from motion to rest as easily as day turns to evening. It remembers how. It has done this every night of your life. So trust it, and let it carry you, this faithful mind of yours, out of the day's racing and into the deep, familiar quiet of rest that it has always known how to find. By now, the thoughts that arise may already be fewer and softer and further apart, and each one that drifts by unchased is your mind gently loosening its grip on the day, letting go thought by thought of all it had been holding. There is no need to follow any of them now. No need to catch or examine or solve. You can simply let each one drift past, unheld, like slow clouds crossing a darkening sky. And as you let them go, one after another, feel how the mind loosens a little more with each release, its hold on the day growing gentler, its grip softening toward nothing at all. This is the mind releasing itself quietly into rest. So let them drift, all of them, whatever thoughts still come. You do not need to chase a single one. Let them cross the quiet sky of your mind and pass on out of sight, taking a little of the day with them each time they go. There is nothing you must hold on to tonight, nothing you must keep watch over. With each unchased thought, your mind lets go a little more, loosening, softening, releasing its grip on everything it carried, until it is holding nothing at all. No thought, no worry, no task, no piece of the day. Just an open, quiet sky and the last few thoughts drifting slowly across it, growing fewer and fainter, until they too are gone, and there is only the soft, still quiet and you resting in it, holding nothing at ease. Your body and your mind are in constant, quiet conversation, and right now your body is speaking softly to your mind, telling it something gentle and true. Wrapped in warmth, held in stillness, resting safe and unhurried, your body is sending its quiet message upward, that all is well, that there is no danger here, that it is safe at last to let go. And the mind, hearing this from the body, begins to believe it, easing its watchfulness, softening its guard, settling into the safety the body reports. You do not have to convince your mind of safety with reasons tonight. Your body is telling it wordlessly, through warmth and stillness and rest. Feel how safe you are here in this quiet place. The warmth around you, the softness beneath you, the stillness of the dark. All of it is your body's gentle way of telling your mind that the day's dangers are done, that nothing here needs guarding, that it is safe now to release. Let the mind receive that message fully. Let it trust what the body is telling it, that you are warm and still and safe and held. There is nothing here to watch for, nothing to brace against, nothing left that asks for your guard. So let the mind lay down its watchfulness at last, believing the body's quiet word, and settle into the deep safety that surrounds you now. You are safe. You are warm. You are held in stillness. And in that safety felt in the body and believed by the mind, let yourself release the last of your guard and rest. There is a gentle thing worth knowing as you drift, so that even your rest feels safe. Sleep is not the mind switching off, not a going dark or a disappearing. It is only the mind turning softly inward, away from the outer world and toward its own quiet depths, still alive, still working gently, only turned in a different direction now. When you sleep, you do not vanish. You simply turn inward, the mind continuing its quiet, tending in a softer, deeper place. There is nothing to fear in the letting go of sleep, no edge to fall from, only a gentle turning toward the inner quiet. So you can release yourself into it without any worry, knowing that sleep is not a loss of yourself, but only a soft turning inward, a coming home to the quiet depths where the mind rests and mends. You will be there through all of it, gently, only turn toward the inside now. Let that make the letting go easy. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing you might lose by drifting off. You are only turning inward now, softly, the way you have turned inward every night of your life. So let yourself turn. Let the outer world grow faint and far, the room, the sounds, the last edges of the day, as you turn gently toward the quiet within, toward the soft inner depths where sleep is waiting. It is not a going away, but a coming home. So come home now, softly turning inward, letting the outer world recede and settle into the gentle, quiet depths of yourself and rest. Whatever this day held, its cares, its small joys, its unfinished things, its moments that lifted you and moments that wore you down, sleep will gather all of it up now and tuck it gently away. You do not have to sort it or finish it or make sense of it before you go. Sleep will take the whole of the day, just as it is, and fold it kindly into the past, smoothing it, settling it, tucking it away where it belongs. This is one of sleep's oldest kindnesses, to take the day off your hands entirely, to gather up everything you carried and set it down for you so that you might rest unburdened. You can let the day go now, all of it, into sleep's gentle keeping. So set it down at last, the whole of this day. You have carried it long enough. Let sleep take it from you now, every worry, every task, every small hurt and small grace of it, and tuck it gently away while you rest. There is nothing more you need to do with any of it tonight. It is finished, whatever shape it took, and it can be laid down now, given over to the gentle keeping of sleep. Feel how light you grow as you release it the whole day, lifting softly from your hands, gathered up and tucked away, leaving you with nothing left to hold. And in that lightness, that soft unburdening, let yourself sink the rest of the way down, free of the day at last, into the deep and gentle quiet, where sleep is gathering everything up and tucking it gently, gently away. Through all these quiet hours we have spoken of the many ways the mind can guide itself, and now at the last there is nothing left to steer. Your mind already knows the way home to sleep. It has traveled this path every night you have ever lived, and it needs no direction from you now. You can let go of the steering, entirely take your hands from the wheel, and let the mind find its own way down, as it always has, as it always will. It does not need you to guide it home. It knows the way better than you could ever tell it. So let it go there on its own now, freely, without your help. There is such deep ease in this final letting go, the release of even the wish to guide yourself towards sleep. You need not do anything at all now. Not steer, not guide, not try, not tend. Your mind knows the way home, and it is already going softly of its own accord, carrying you gently down the path it knows by heart. So take your hands from the wheel entirely. Stop steering, stop trying. Let your mind go home the way it always has on its own, needing nothing from you but the quiet permission to go. You are almost there now, carried by a mind that knows exactly where it is taking you. So let it take you. Let it carry you the last soft distance home while you simply rest and trust and drift, needing to do nothing at all, only to let your faithful mind bring you, as it always has, gently home to sleep. As you slip now towards sleep and your thoughts grow faint and few, something in you remains awake and faithful, keeping its quiet watch. Even as thought fades, even as you drift past the edge of awareness, your brain stays gently at work, timing your heart, drawing your breath, tending your body through all the hours of the dark, watching over you with a care that never sleeps. Even when you do, you are never truly unguarded, never left alone in the night. Some deep and faithful part of you keeps its steady watch, while the rest of you rests. So you can let go completely, drift all the way down, knowing you are held and watched over the whole night through. There is such safety in this, such deep permission to release. You do not have to keep any vigil tonight. Do not have to stay even a little awake to guard yourself. That watch is already being kept faithfully by the quiet part of you that never rests. Your heart will beat without your minding it. Your breath will flow without your tending it. Your whole body will be watched over and cared for through every dark hour, while you sleep safe and unguarded in the keeping of that faithful inner watch. So let go now all the way. Let your thoughts fade, let your awareness dim, let yourself drift down past the last edge into sleep, knowing you are safe, knowing you are held, knowing that even as you disappear into rest, something gentle and faithful in you keeps watch, will keep watch tenderly over you all through the night. And so we come to the last quiet truth, the gentlest of them all. Of all the ways the mind can guide and hold and steer itself, the kindest is simply this: the choice to let go, to release everything now. Every thought, every task, every last bit of holding is the softest and wisest control there is. The mind's final gift to itself at the end of a long day. You have let go of so much already tonight, thought by thought, breath by breath. And now there is only this last letting go, the simple choice to release it all and rest. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to hold, nothing left to control, but the gentle choosing to control nothing at all. So make that kind choice now, the simplest and softest one. Let go. Let go of the day, of the mind's long work, of the very wish to do anything more. Let yourself sink fully into the warmth and the quiet and the deep, soft, dark, held and safe and watched over, needing nothing, holding nothing, doing nothing but resting. You have found your way here to this gentle place, and there is nowhere else to be now, nothing else to reach for. Only this soft letting go, this quiet release, this kind and simple choice to rest at last. So let it all go now, gently, completely, and drift down into the deep, good quiet of sleep. Thank you for spending this time here with me. Until next time, good night.